It's a new year, y'all. And for me, I've never been one to do resolutions. I do solutions. And for the past almost 2 years, I've been drinking AG1 every single day, thanks to my brother, Dr. Andrew Huberman, who turned me on to this incredible product. Every day, every morning, no exceptions. Just one scoop and a glass of water. They also make packs that you can travel with. That's been very, very helpful for me as a active touring person. Having these packets with me all around the world has been really, really helpful. So if you're a musician or somebody that is always on the go, the travel packs are incredible. AG1 delivers my daily dose of vitamins, minerals, and pre and probiotics. It's very powerful, it's very healthy, and it's really simple, man. Healthy aging shouldn't feel complicated. The thought of taking multiple supplements and all these types of vitamins and stuff and powders, it's truly exhausting for me. I've never been one to take a lot of multivitamins anyway throughout my whole life. I always prided myself in just eating vegetables and eating all the stuff I need naturally, not in a pill form. So this is incredible. It covers my nutrient gaps. It supports my mental and physical health. AG1 is hassle-free, 60 seconds every morning. It's the high-quality ingredients of pre and probiotics, adaptogens and antioxidants, and whole food sourced nutrients. I drink it every single day. Every batch of AG1s goes through rigorous testing processes, and their ingredients are sourced for absorption, potency, and nutrient density. If there's one product I can suggest you guys, is the AG1s, man. This has been a life changer for me. So go to ag1.com/OLLC and you can get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 and K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase. With AG1, I know I'm getting essential brain, gut, and immune health support, vitamins, probiotics, and nutrients for the day, and it's helped my mental and physical. So if there's one thing I can recommend to you guys, it's AG1s. It's my nutritional insurance. I pride myself as almost being 54 years old, not going to the doctor all the time. Knock on wood. I've been healthy my whole life and try to strive to be a healthy person, stay young, stay full of energy, and still do the things I love that I did as a kid. That's why I still skateboard, play music, exercise. So start the year off right. AG1, ag1.com/OLLC. Yo, Liquid Death, thank you so much for hydrating all my guests, taking care of me and my family and my friends. Love your water, love your brand, love what you stand for, love what you give back to the community. If you want to learn more about Liquid Death and how it started, listen to episode 115 with the co-founder, owner, and creator of Liquid Death, Mike Cesario. Just a punk rock skateboarding kid from Delaware with a dream. It's an incredible story, incredible journey. So if you go liquiddeath.com/Toby, you get free shipping on any items you order from liquiddeath.com. If you want to just get Liquid Death water, go to amazon.com. But for the merchandise and other cool items, exclusive items, go to liquiddeath.com/Toby and get free shipping. Thank you so much, Liquid Death. Death to plastic, murder your thirst. Stay hydrated. You know H2O saves lives. Microphone check.
Check. Testing 1, 2, 3. Checking the microphone.
Do it again, Dick.
Check. Testing the microphone.
Great.
1, 2, 3. Check. Okay. Testing. Okay. Ready.
All right. So
you really need to do you need to do cartoons.
Totally, man. His voiceover is incredible. Welcome to the One Life One Chance podcast. I'm your host, Toby Morse, as you know, because you're listening to this podcast. Maybe I shouldn't do these intros anymore. I have my brother, Mr. Derek Green, to the right of me. Derek, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me, Toby.
Wow. Crazy
before
week.
I got hyped up before.
No, I know. You get yelled at by Joe.
I got yelled at. Yeah.
But this is a crazy week, and I'm very blessed to be here doing this podcast and having these conversations. I said on the interwebs today, I pride myself on a conversation more than lights and the cameras and just having conversations with people. And I feel like I've stayed in my lane for 4.5 years, and I love these conversations. They're very therapeutic to me. Do you know what I mean? It changed my life.
Definitely. I think it's great for you.
Definitely going to therapy, too, because of this podcast. But we have a lovely woman here today that you told me about, and I've done some research on. I'm excited to hear her story.
Right.
Miss Lucy Jean, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, Lucy.
How did you two meet? How'd you guys meet?
We got mutual friends.
Okay.
Brazilian friends.
So the Brazilian connection steps in again.
Mm-hmm.
And that happened in Venice. People I know from, it started with the Vogue.
Okay.
And then with Amaz.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's like that connection. And your namorado, your boyfriend, is Brazilian.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I go to Brazil all the time. Big fan of everything Brazil. Food, art, music, people, beaches, surf, skate, all that's happening.
Acai bowls?
acai bowls,
All that stuff.
all of it.
Yes.
Mostly pão de queijo though. That's what's up.
Queijo, I would have brought some here.
What is? Is
Bro.
that the vegan stuff you make?
Yeah, man. I made it for
Ah.
You make vegan.
I make vegan. I make vegan pão de queijo. Yes, I do.
So Lucy, welcome.
Free.
Let's hear your story. Because before the pod, I was like, is she from France? She's like, no, I'm from New York.
She's not
I'm from upstate
France.
New York
New
by
Yorker.
Woodstock. So New York, born and raised.
Where did you get this information that she was from France?
It's true though.
I mean, I would be way more exotic if I was from France.
Well, you came from France to Venice, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you were born in France.
No.
No.
New York, son. Upstate. Tell us your story, please, Lucy.
Okay. My mom is from Long Island.
Strong Island.
Strong Island. And I am from upstate near Woodstock in a town called Cornwall.
Okay.
I know that.
Yep. My dad is a musician. My mom is an artist, but they also all have the business side to them. So I'm a weird mix of them.
Mm-hmm.
My grandmother, Long Island as well.
Your father, Long Island.
Yeah. Well, no, my dad was in Buffalo.
Ooh.
So just like New York,
Yeah,
random
that's cool.
spaces. But yeah, I don't know. From that part of the world, it's a good part of the world to be from because you're in the mountains, but you're close to the city. So I would go to Broadway shows every month, and I was a professional ballerina, so I'd go to the auditions in the city and do all that. But then I would be living in this little like idyllic mountain town for both good and bad reasons. That's cool, but it was a really dreamy childhood.
How did the French connection come about?
Oh, long way further down, I ended up.
Okay. I want to get to that for sure.
All right.
But I want to get to like your professional dancer.
Oh yeah, I was a professional ballerina growing up.
Starting at what age?
I started at 11. I guess I started like going really hard at 11. I started at 9. Yeah, I don't know. It was a very funny thing. Like I had blinders on for ballet for my whole childhood. Like I was so convinced I was going to be a professional ballerina. There was just like nothing but that. I didn't really care about what was happening around me or cool stuff. I was like no parties, no nothing. I was there hours a day.
Super straight laced, just focused.
Yeah, I mean, I was a weird kid. Like I would be doing I had best friends and we were into weird music and art and weird stuff.
Such as?
But I would say like when we were younger, we got into like these weird, I would say like we got into like this weird like Lonely Island Brother thing with like comedy with music, and we were into weird stuff, like weird stuff. And
That's cool.
As we progressed, I would say like I had such a good childhood. I didn't even think about partying. Like it wasn't really there until I hit college. And then it just was never like a big interest to me. Like I'm just I'm pretty happy kid. And I always was
Only
like,
child?
No, I have a sister. Yeah. And I just like was really focused on what ballet was. I was like, this is the whole world is ballet. And then I went to college on full scholarship for ballet.
Wow.
And then
which college?
Point Park University.
Okay.
And one day I woke up and I like looked around me. There was a jazz dancer came into the ballet class, which is like, they don't have the technique, whatever the heck. And
they got the attitude.
They were so happy to be there. They were so joyous. And I was like, you like this? Like, I thought we all hated it. Like, we're all just competitive, right? Like, we're here because we want to be the best dancer. And they're like, no, I like love dancing. So I started asking people, do you love dancing? And everyone unanimously, yes. And I, for the first time in my life, was like, I hate this. Like, I was just doing this because I'm competitive and I've done it my whole life. I never thought about it. And after my parents, we didn't grow up wealthy or anything. They were asked me 1,000 times, like, are you sure you want to keep doing this? Like, it's all of our money. Like, are you sure? Yes, Mom, I'm going to be a professional. Like I would not let her.
You could have been? You think you had the...
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think I could have gone too far. I didn't have the feet, but I had other things and whatever. And then I decided to quit ballet, gave up my scholarship, and my parents, best parents in the world, were like, I thought they were going to be furious, and they just said like, we love you no matter what. Like, you could shave your head. We love you. We don't care what you do.
Awesome,
like,
man.
just be happy. So I was like, I need to find what I love. So I interned at a clothing company, a music venue, a radio show. I had a radio show.
What kind of radio show? Was it playing that weird music stuff?
Yeah, it was called Line You Crossed It.
Okay.
And we definitely like would I was working for Red Bull Music Academy in college, syndicating their stuff to local radio stations. So it was definitely like a lot of like local musicians and like local radios. I don't really remember all the stuff I would play. It was more of us just being funny talk show hosts. But I did intern for this guy named DJ Bonix, who was Wiz Khalifa's DJ. So I got in that space, and I was friends with Mac Miller, and I was in his music videos young and like was a part of his crew in college.
Incredible talent, man.
Yeah, he was my neighbor. He was a like, I remember
in New York?
In Pittsburgh. Yeah.
That's where he's from. That's right.
Yeah. And we like, I remember seeing him. We were on a boat doing a music video. It was so lame. And I just remember him rapping the he was so young. Like if you watch music, it's called Traffic in the Sky. He's so young. Okay. And he's rapping. And I remember just being so impressed with his focus. Like everyone around him was like, hi, not giving a fuck. He was an artist, so young. Like you can tell he was in it and fully there. So I'm so happy he went where he went, and obviously rest in peace. But that was crazy being in that space. And Pittsburgh had a lot of cool stuff happening at that time. But
why are you hating on Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh's great.
Like
he's on some sports hate.
Sports
it's
stuff.
Like a mortal enemy from childhood.
That's valid.
I've had the best some of the best H2O shows playing in Pittsburgh.
Valid.
No, I'm not hating.
Great shows
I'm not hating
back
on
then.
your guys' adventures. In
you just saw some sports shit, right?
That makes sense.
I just,
they are mortal.
Just hearing the name, I'm just like,
But Mac Miller, man, it's crazy. Like the tiny concerts thing he did. Like after he passed, I started really deep diving into more because I heard some of his songs, and like he was so talented, man, incredibly talented. That was really sad loss.
Yeah,
and
big time.
There was like a mini doc of him getting his apartment, moving to New York, and getting set up there. This thing came out after it, but his story, and it's just like, it's crazy, man.
Yeah, really good people around him. Amazing group of friends that were with him from the day one till the end, and they're still doing their thing and recovering. And
Are you in touch with some of them people?
Mm-hmm.
How long did you stay in Pittsburgh for?
I stayed there for 3.5 years. And again, chasing, like, I think this is a common thing of 18 to 20-year-olds is like, what am I supposed to do with my life?
What's my purpose?
Yeah, like, where am I supposed to go? And I was so focused on finding what I loved that I just tried everything. And I had, like, I was bartending, and I had all these internships. And one day I woke up and I was like, I need to go study abroad. Like, I have not seen the world yet, and I need to figure out what I love. I've always been interested in film my whole life. And so I got an internship at Cannes Film Festival. Long ass story short, like crazy story. Somehow finagled my way into that because I've done so many internships. At that point, I realized internships are not about doing the job, it's about meeting the people. So like the day of the internship, I'm at Cannes, and everyone's handing out flyers for this thing, and I'm like, I'm not going to hand out flyers. I'm going to meet the CEO of wherever I am. Wow. So I made friends with this woman at this film festival forum thing I was at. Long story short, emailed her every week for months until she gave me a job. She was like, you were somehow not annoying, but extremely extremely consistent. So I got a job in sales for a film finance company right out of college while simultaneously working at a bowling alley in New York City.
Wow.
After studying abroad in France, living the high life, then suddenly I was Lucky Strike Lanes. It was hilarious.
Were you partying a lot since you didn't party most of your life?
Yeah. Okay. That was good. But I always had a pretty like, I feel like anytime I've drank, I've always been ultra aware of like how I'm just very cognizant. I think maybe because of ballet, like you're very aware of your surroundings and your body and where you are.
Sure.
As a woman, we are as well, just in general. Mm-hmm. So I just never really like let go when I was partying. I feel like I let go a lot more. Like I experimented with psilocybin in college, and that was like big eye-opening stuff. Still a big part of my life now. And that was way more interesting to me, like exploring myself rather than like, because I can go dance in the middle of the street and have like, I'm just that person. I like to, I'm a playful person. So alcohol didn't do anything for me. It was like, oh, cool. Now I have a hangover.
You seem pretty high on life.
Yeah, I am. I am. And then worked at Lucky Strike Lanes, and I worked for this film finance company called Winston Baker, and they were the people at film festivals where like at Cannes Film Festival and instead of the festival organizing a conversation with like Spike Jones and like the head of HSBC finance, they would outsource this company to teach people or like people would go to figure out how to finance their projects.
Gotcha.
And so I was hired to do sponsorships for that. So I'd be working at Lucky Strike Lanes and I'd be going to like Shanghai Film Festival, like full VIP, like the most fancy places in the world.
Wow.
As soon as the festival is over, like straight to a hostel, like, you know, straight to like the couch surfing through Istanbul, like just figuring it out.
I love that though.
Yeah, it was great life experience. Like the figuring out how to chameleon through spaces, like being on the subway in New York City and then straight to like this luxury life where you have to be around a lot of powerful white rich men and how to like hold yourself and also like be respectful to yourself and like understand how
be safe.
And be safe. Yeah, like I was so aware of that as a woman in these. It was my first experience really being a woman in like male dominated spaces. And needless to say, very weird at the beginning. And then you kind of like learn how it goes. Like you learn how to like dance away when someone puts their hand on your back, and you learn all these things that women shouldn't have to deal with, but like are still so deeply entrenched in this world. Like if you have a daughter and you're listening, like it's really important just to like recognize how different her experience is going to be than you growing up. So like, I just think it was really cool to get to go to those spaces, even though it was hard. It was like great learning, you know, big time. So yeah, I did that for a while. Then I was in New York City. I was like, I'm over this because I was in Shanghai and traveling a lot in between this bowling alley life. And I was like, I'm done with this. Like I had made a decision. I will never work in the service industry again. And once I made that decision, I never went back.
Wow.
I did it. I bartended since I worked at pizza restaurants since I'm like 16. Like I've always had a job. Yeah. So finally I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. And I never have. And I have such respect.
Was it scary to make that decision at first? Or no, you're like, no, I already know.
It was terrifying. And I didn't really like have the financial means to do it. But I was like, I've had enough. Like I need to stop doing this. And now I think I tell everyone, you got to work in the service industry in your life because it gives you such perspective. And like it says so much about a person, how they treat a waitress or a waiter or a salesperson on the phone. Like if you've been in that position, you can understand why. So that's a great recommendation.
Yeah, my son's in that now. At 20, he's busting, doing all that. And I bust tables and did dishes. I worked at the coffee shop in Manhattan. I worked at a steakhouse in the 80s. Ooh. Like dishes and service. I did all that stuff, bussing and stuff. Yeah, it's super important.
Yeah,
right?
It is. Yeah. It makes a big difference. Too.
So you were over in New York too? You didn't like New York?
Yeah.
What years were you there in New York?
Wow, years.
I think when we were there. We were gone
2000,
by
like 12.
Oh yeah. I left in 2001. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
such a different world, New York City too, man.
Absolutely. I can't imagine. There was probably such a cool part of New York City that I never experienced. Like I was so in my lane, you know, like just working hard, head down, like not doing too much.
Did you live uptown, midtown, downtown?
I lived in Brooklyn. In Williamsburg.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy, man. Just everybody's there. It's crazy.
Everyone was. Did
you go to Lower East Side or downtown New York and stuff?
Yeah, but again, I wasn't like partying or a lot. Like I would say I was definitely more like focused on just working and.
So you've always just been focused on that.
Yeah, very focused person, and my focus has always been community. Like I think like I was always looking for community everywhere I was. Like even when I'm bartending, whatever it was, I was always looking for connections. Yeah, like connecting to people. Like I love matchmaking. I love connecting people. I love connecting with things and. I was always searching for that and I couldn't find it in the film industry. I couldn't find it in all these spaces. I ended up moving to SF, like got in my car, no money, just drove across the country.
By yourself?
With a partner at the time.
Okay.
And found a girl on Craigslist. She had an apartment in Ocean Beach. I like moved in 3333 Judah Street, apartment 3. There's 3 of us. We're all 23. Wow. It was like threes hit my life and it has never left.
That's like number 2 of my bands too.
No way.
We're all connected by 3. My brothers are 3 years apart, 3 boys. My dad died when I was 3. There's 3 third band for everybody in H2O. Everybody's third.
Wow.
We have like a fanzine we put out called 333.
What the heck?
I got a 3 tattoo on my hand.
What?
We'll talk about that after. Yeah, so 3's my shit. 3's my shit too, man.
Wow. Oh, that's wild. Yeah, we're probably all aliens from some 3 thing. Who knows? I have like literally
You got some threes on you?
freckles that are in the exact shape of
Come
yeah,
on,
it's
man.
weird. It's weird. Anyway, 3s have always followed me since that date, and that was the year I moved to SF, where I at a random bookshop picked up autobiography of a yogi. I had no idea about spirituality. I was always like, didn't know how to deal with like emotions, anything. And that was the year I found spirituality in SF, like by chance, went so deep into like Ram Dass and that whole space. Be Here Now is amazing. But if you haven't heard of It's Here Now, that's the book written about the guy who introduced Ram Dass to his guru.
Wow.
And it's amazing. It's like drug, sex, rock and roll, spirituality. This guy who's written about is like, it's sick. I would highly recommend it.
Were you doing yoga too at the time already or no?
Me?
Yeah, were you already doing yoga before
No,
that?
I had I didn't even know what this was. I had never heard of any of this stuff before.
But yoga, obviously, yeah.
Yeah. I just like, it was all just not introduced in my life. And since then, it's been like such a big part. We just talked a little bit about ice bath and stuff. I'm like big breath work, meditation kid. And that was like early on SF, which was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
But yeah, still,
What'd you do when you get there? Was your like, what did you do?
I was like, okay, well, since I quit ballet, like, where did all my competitiveness go?
Yeah.
And I was trying to figure that out. I got a job at Yelp doing sales, phone sales, and I was like, there it is, there she is.
Wow.
I was in it. Like, I went from, you had to make like probably 80 blind phone calls a day. I would make 160 minimum. I was number 13 in the company pretty fast. I moved up in like a thousands of person company in sales, just like right up.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Lots of luck, of course. I got lucky in that situation, but like that's where it all went. And I was like, okay, I finally have enough money. Like I finally had some money. I had like $10,000. Like that's crazy. And my partner at the time was he's from the south of France. And we were just like escaping the city every weekend to just like go in nature. We were growing weed in our backyard and we're kind of like figuring out that we just wanted to be in nature. And his family gave us called us one day and said, look, we have this property that's open in Suspel. It's this like south of France town.
See you later.
And would you guys want to start a farm on it? And we were like, yeah, let's go. Within a month, we moved all of our stuff, sold everything we owned, and moved to the south of France to start a farm, permaculture farm.
Wow.
And we like learned from zero. Like we just, it was just figuring it all out. I went there again thinking, okay, I'll find community in farming. Like that's where the community will be. And unfortunately, south of France is like, you think people, because they're so wealthy, are going to have open arms and want to give you everything they own. It was this harsh reality of like, oh, when people have a lot, they actually build high walls and want to keep it all for themselves. Like it's not this thing that I thought. I thought it was share culture, but really it's like, like protection culture around your things. So that was an interesting experience, and it was so special for so many reasons. And then we were talking about my dog I got at the south of France at a reggae show. Sorry, I got her in Italy because I would go to like reggae shows and weird concerts through Italy. Italy was where the cool stuff was happening. So much in the south of France. And just like had a really beautiful time like tending to the land and learning everything. Say that again?
What kind of animals did you have there?
Oh, I didn't have any animals.
Oh, okay.
It was all permaculture. So it was like, we had just so much diverse everything. Like we planted, I think it was a year of observation. Like you have to observe. It's all about like, permaculture is the opposite of monoculture, where you'll like look at a monoculture farm where there's like 10 apple trees in a row and you're like, why and how would that ever exist in nature, you know?
Permaculture is just letting things naturally grow.
Okay.
Yeah, like creating the space for it to do what it needs to. So you need to understand, like, is this time of year, is the shadow going to hit there? Because if you're planting something there, it needs to actually have the access to the things to do what it needs to do.
Gotcha.
So for a perfect example, it's like instead of 10 apple trees, you'd have like one apple tree, and instead of like weeds growing, you're going to put rosemary under it, like an herb that you can use, and like raspberries growing up the tree, and then you never have to touch it because like everything is going to work naturally.
Okay.
So it's a lot of like observation.
That's cool though. Wow.
Permaculture is pretty I think it's like the answer to everything we're missing.
That's a whole concept behind like Amaz and where they get that.
Okay, I got you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. If you ever hear permaculture or biodynamic farming, you're like, you got it. You know what's up.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, then I was there for a while, left my partner there and moved back to New York. Finally, after all these years working in film, I got an offer to move to LA.
How long were you back in New York for before that happened?
5 months.
Damn.
And I had no idea what I was going to do next. I was just like recover. I got back and I was like, I could talk to people. I can be a weirdo again.
Were you
like,
in a relationship for a long time with your partner?
Yeah.
So you were free and you came back.
Yeah, and in France, it's like if you're biking, you have to wear the bike outfit. If you're like, you have to look like the thing you're doing. And I never could do it. Like I couldn't fit in. I'm from like a weird part of the world. Like I like to be myself. And so I got back. I remember I got back up. My parents were living in Beacon at the time. And I got back and I got all these like llama stickers. I found llama stickers and I was just going up to people and offering it. I was like, do you want a llama sticker? And they're like, I do. And I'm like... like it was just so nice to be weird again and people to be okay with it and people to be open to whatever you want to be. And so that was exciting. I got real weird for a while, was making lots of buttons.
Did you feel like you weren't yourself when you were living in south of France? Or at least like you feel like you were just like,
no, close to myself. I was myself in terms of nature. Like I was close to myself in that way. But yeah, I was so far from.
Wow.
I have best friends. Like I have best friends who are like my soulmates, you know, and they were far away. Like all my friends were far. It just wasn't. It gives me a lot of respect for expats. Like my partner's Brazilian. Anyone I know who is like not from here, I have so much empathy for them. Like they're never really going to be their full selves, especially in a different language. So like, it's hard, man. It's hard.
But I think south of France is pretty remote.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's not like a large community to gather around. Like if you're coming from another country and coming to LA.
That's true.
There's a lot of different little tribes going on here.
That's true.
But you were...
I was on an island by myself.
Insane. That's
insane.
I
had like not a lot of friends.
Right.
It was weird. But yeah, I moved back to LA and I was lost as capital L. Like
what year is that now?
2016.
Okay.
I moved here and I was like, I will never live in LA. I was from, I lived in SF before. So it was like, it's chain malls and smog and traffic and like, fuck LA. Like I'll never live in. I came to LA for a film festival for AFM and I stayed in Santa Monica. And I remember seeing people on skateboards, which I've never seen in my life. I saw people holding surfboards. I saw nature everywhere. I was like, there's nature in LA. Like I had no clue. So I said to myself, I will only live in LA if I can live in Santa Monica with a backyard with nature. I will not settle for less.
Mm-hmm.
Not joking. Manifested this shit. I swear over my life. Like posted on Facebook. Anybody live in LA? Because I got an offer to move here for production, and this girl wrote back, and this girl from college, and she was like, "Yeah, my boyfriend and I are like literally looking at a house in Santa Monica with a yard.
Come on,
my price range. Moved in pretty quick. Everything like aligned. It was like, you are meant to be here."
Yeah.
And the second I moved to LA, it was like, this is my home. Like there was no question.
Wow.
It was like, I've lived all over the world. I've traveled all over the world. I've never felt that. I moved to LA and it was like, this is where I love it. I just love LA so much. Oh my God. I love it.
I feel the same too. I'll never go back to the East Coast.
Yeah, same, man.
I don't miss the winters. I don't miss any of that stuff.
I feel the same.
But I do miss walking in the city a lot. I do miss
I
hate driving.
So true. There's not a lot of that here. It's different.
But there is like snowboarding over there, ocean over here, skateboarding. You can do anything here,
anything.
Man, at any time.
It's a playground. I'll never change. I'll never move
and it's worth the taxes. It's worth the expense.
Yeah. Cali, man. I'm endlessly inspired by this state. I travel all over it all the time. I love it so much.
So you never skateboarded back in the
Never.
day?
Yeah, never. I
Never
didn't even
thought about skateboarding.
I thought skateboarders, like, you had to look like, I thought skateboarders were Tony Hawk. Like, in my head, it was like, you had to have cool hair and, like, be from California and be a ripper and badass. Like, there was no space, anything else I've never seen that, you know?
Yeah. Right.
And I moved to LA and I was working in film. I was moved up and was working in independent development and like got a really cool job. And my boyfriend, who's still my boyfriend now, his name is Gabriel. He works for Carver Skateboards. It's a surf skate brand. He was like, all right, I skate. Like I'm going to teach you. And I was like, yeah, right. Like I'm going to eat shit. I'm going to die. I'm a ballerina. Like I was a ballerina. Like no way. Stood on a board and it was like, he taught me so much with so much patience and like and it was just so positive, and it was such a nice interaction. I was just like, I went from, I don't know, I came out of like a pretty emotionally abusive relationship, and like was so lost in my life, like didn't know what to do. I was just, again, just like didn't have community, always, again, feeling that emptiness. And I got on a board, and I went from feeling so weak and fragile and like this little petite little ballerina to like, I feel so badass and strong and powerful. Like I could take over the world when I was on a board. And especially in Venice, it was like, I felt like I belonged pretty quickly just from that board, you know? And it was just like this instant feeling of like this, I was just in love. Like it's all I wanted to do. It was my focus every day was get on a board.
So cool.
And it was, it's so cool because I see that happen every day still today. Like every day I watch this, it infects your body.
Yeah, for sure.
And, yeah, I just didn't have anyone to skate with. Like I was just skating by myself a lot. And I remember skating on the boardwalk and getting catcalled and like being scared I was in the slip and look stupid. And I just was too scared to do anything. Like I was just nervous. I started going to Venice skate park, and that would be terrifying.
Very locals only vibe there, man.
Extremely intimidating.
It is. I go there with my son. I see him skate there too, and it's still...
Yeah.
You have to know the right people, say hi to the right people, respect.
I mean, when we started, it was like in places that were far from California, you know, that where the mega, you know, skating was going on. I think it made it a little bit easier, probably.
For sure. But there's definitely a locals only vibe on Venice, for sure.
Yeah. Not as much. I would say it's the paradigm has really shifted.
Okay.
At the skate park, I think there's a lot of like protection over keeping it a certain way, but the certain way is respectful towards the history and the people who created it. But I've always felt since day one in Venice, especially at the skate park, people are really excited for new people to skate.
Yeah.
Like they're stoked to share, and they're stoked to show off their magic. Like they're stoked to show off, like maybe when they're walking down the street, they kind of look like a hardcore whatever. But when they're on a board, they're like, they're beautiful athletes, you know, like, and it's fun to show. So I think I've always been I felt so supported since day one, but I was scared, you know, just the idea of skating at that park is terrifying.
Yeah, it's legendary.
Yeah.
There's always an audience. There's always people watching, tourists. It's packed.
Yeah. And I sucked. Like I was so bad. Like I had no idea what I was doing, and I was like, I'm just going to keep trying because I love it. And yeah, so I would just, any girl I saw with a board, I would just chase down and be like, I know this is weird, but do you want to skate with me? Like, here's my phone number. And I just kept doing that. And I had a text chain, and I called it Grlswirl because I imagine like an ice cream swirl, like different colors, swirling together. And I was just like, whatever, I'm going to call it Grlswirl.
It's a great name.
And thank you. It was totally so random. Just I can't believe it's what it is today. And yeah, we one night we kind of like met up on that text chain. I said, let's just like meet up and skate, you know? And it was one of those nights that's like, I think I talk about it all the time and think about it all the time because it feels so relevant to what it feels like every day still. When we actually have these group skates, it was like we went from feeling terrified and intimidated and, you know, getting catcalled and people like looking at you weird to people cheering you on. Like just being in a group of women on skateboards was so different than being alone on a skateboard.
Sure.
And it was like we were being celebrated, like literally strangers, like, yeah, girl skating. Yeah. Like it was like a moment. We all were like looking at each other like, this feels crazy. It felt revolutionary is the best way to explain it. And like electric. And that night there was 8 girls there, and we all sat down after, and we were like, let's like make this a thing. Like let's actually just keep meeting up and start to grow this thing. And I was like, well, I called it Grlswirl. What about that? And they're like, well, we're going through weird other names. We almost called it Radical Salmon, Pussy Bandits. Like we had all these other names. And last minute we were like, let's just keep it with Grlswirl.
Oh my God.
I am not a musician, but I have a lot of band names that I take notes of because I love band names, cat names, dog names. Like just I track it. So that was one of them. Was like one of my band names was
That's a good name.
Pussy Bandits.
That's incredible. Max,
it's so
Max,
catchy.
how are you? Good. Max, this is Lucy. She
Hi,
surfs
Max.
all the time at Venice, like every day. Lives in Venice.
Hi.
Skates, surfs. I told her Max is always going to Venice. You ever skate the park too? Yeah. You're more surfy, right?
Well, I mean, it's
Yeah.
I serve at Venice every day, but I go at like 8:30. No, the park. Oh, yeah, I skate there too, but.
But you skate 8:30 in the morning?
No. If I skate at the park, I go in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But.
I serve any time of the day.
Every day? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, back to Lucy. Bye, Max. What? So you start the Grlswirl.
Yes. Started the Grlswirl. That night we were like, let's just do this. We made an Instagram. We're like, let's just see what this is going to like, whatever, we'll see. So we sat down like maybe a week later and I was like, look, at the time I just had learned skateboarding, but I was so passionate about sharing it with people. Like I probably learned like 6 months before. I found an orphanage in East LA and I was like, I'm going to bring skate to them, and like reached out to them and I started teaching skate to the kids there.
What?
And I was like, let's make sure we have like philanthropic initiatives and everything we do. Like I want to get kids on boards. So we sat down with all the co-founders. They're all amazing, by the way. All these my co-founders are all totally different stories. We have like an ex freaking NASA engineer. We have like an a crazy model photographer. We have like an ex pretty much a girl who grew up super sick her whole life. We have a girl who was in rehab a half her life. Like just crazy stories,
diverse,
you know?
Super diverse.
Everyone is their own version of what skate has brought them. And that's why Grlswirl is so powerful, I think, because we're not one person. There's like, Grlswirl is a lot of different people. And yeah, so when we started, we were like, let's do, we're going to do philanthropy stuff. We're going to do group skates. We're going to do this. We just kind of made some simple ideas and everyone kind of assigned each other. We kind of assigned roles. So I was the CEO, as a creator. I also like do a lot of like social strategy and photography, and that's like kind of my specialty. So I grew us really quick on social. Like that's kind of why we blew up fast.
Yeah, you're like an award-winning social media marketing person.
Wow. It looks amazing.
Thank you. I know.
I have to hire you. Do you work for people still? Do you like people hire you out to do things for them or not?
I get a lot of offers, but I work full time at Mudwater, as well as running Grlswirl. So it's like impossible for me to work for other people. It's like
what's that Mudwater drink? What is that again?
It's a coffee alternative with mushrooms.
That's what Kim uses.
Yeah,
he's always
Kim
posting.
uses all the time.
I'm gonna hook you up right after. I was gonna ask you right when I got here. I was like, does he drink Mudwater?
No, I don't.
Kim has been going off about it, like, yo, this is the drink.
It's alternative to coffee.
Yeah.
Because I can't do coffee. It makes me too jittery and crazy.
Bro.
He just quit coffee last week.
Yeah.
Y'all are about to get the craziest care package of your life.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Because they have great propaganda, and I'm just saying that's because you're here, because I only know about it because I kept seeing it everywhere, and I was like, oh, these are cool commercials and everything.
Yeah.
So break it down for the listeners what it is compared to coffee. Like
it's like there's so many organically grown medicinal mushrooms in it. There's different blends, but the main OG blend is like, it's kind of like a chai latte, but it has cacao, chai, and a lot of organic mushrooms in it. And it like, I'm not saying this because I drank the Kool-Aid. I'm telling you legitimately, it changes people's life every day. Like I get the amount of messages we get that people are like, this thing like changed my whole life because it's just such a game changer in terms of like energy without jitters, but it also like,
that's what I need.
Yeah. I got you. I
need energy with no jitters.
Yeah, and this company, we'll go into this, but like for real, probably the best company I've ever worked for.
Wow.
They're so different. Like,
are they based in LA? Yeah,
they're just opening up their first cafe in Santa Monica, like the first like mushroom non-coffee cafe, and this company like. It's a dream for me. It's a dream to work for because I'm able to learn so much for the kind of company I want to have when I'm, as I grow and learn. The founder Shane is like next level. Also, he's just like the way his mind works is really different than anyone I've ever met. For example, we have every other Friday off. We have a book budget every month. We have like cleaning budget for people to clean your house because like we all work from home.
Wow.
We have they bring you on a company retreat once a year.
That's cool.
When I started, they're not doing it right now, but when I started, they let you fly anywhere in the world to work for a week because they want you to be able to travel and like still see the world while you're working.
Bro, we need to work down. I'm quit this podcast, bro.
Dude,
I got my resume ready.
Yeah, we start every company meeting with breath work. Every time a new person comes into the company, we do an hour breath work, like company wide. Everyone like trips out.
Bruh, this is crazy.
They're like really like flipping things on their head. It's like you have a minimum time, like you have to take time off. Like it's forced.
I believe in that.
Everything is like, and people, like I'm working with like ex-Nat Geo photographers, like people who are at the top of their game. Like everyone's like top. So it's just rad. Like I've learned so much, and
the caffeine's good. The caffeine's like coffee caffeine vibes.
The matcha one is the strongest caffeine, but like the OG blend is like a pretty normal. I would say it's like a lasting caffeine.
Yeah.
It's not like you're gonna be like, I'm fucking on it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like, I'm chilling, I'm focused.
You know what's crazy is I hate mushrooms.
Yeah.
Like eating mushrooms.
Yeah.
I can't have them. Me and my son hate mushrooms, but then I drink this Amaz that has mushrooms in it. I don't even think about it.
Right.
So
there's other things.
So I could do this,
that have been going on.
not thinking to myself, this is mushrooms and I'm drinking, but I just want something that gives me that caffeine for sure.
Yeah, dude, I'm gonna hook you up. And then we're also doing for Black Friday, like for Giving Tuesday, Black Friday, we're doing a cold plunge event where it's gonna be Freeze for a Cause, and there's only 100 spots open. And for every person who cold plunges, we're gonna have all these cold plunges there. For every person who cold plunges, we're donating $100 to Heroic Hearts, this veterans foundation.
Wow,
so like we're
man.
gonna basically pay you to cold plunge, and we're gonna give it to charity. So y'all should come out for
Is
that.
that with Plunge, the company Plunge? Or
It's with Ice Pass.
Oh, yeah. Okay, cool.
But we love Plunge. Like we work
Yeah.
with them as well. We're gonna have a whole the headquarter, like the new cafe is designed to have an entire ice bath sauna in the back. There's like a whole there's like freaking rainforest showers and shit in there. It's gonna be wild.
Where is that in LA gonna
in
be?
Santa Monica.
Sick.
Yeah.
Wow, man.
Yeah,
That's
it's an
so cool.
amazing
Yeah.
company. I would love to introduce you to all those people.
100%.
Yeah,
Because
they'd
I
be
hear great
stoked.
things. Our friend posts about it all the time.
Oh, cool.
He does it every day.
Yeah. Once you're in it, you're like,
Yeah.
this is what's up. It's so good. It's so cool what they're doing.
So
But
you're
yeah.
with them now? Are you with? That's what you're doing now?
Yeah,
too?
yeah. I'm with them, and I run Grlswirl as well. So it's like this funny dance all the time. I'm trying to balance like all of the things, which is crazy. But
It's all good things. You're doing great things.
Thanks. Yeah. It went because Grlswirl, we started hosting these group skates, and there was like 10 of us, and then we'd open it up like any age, any level, come skate with us. It's gonna make it safe and a safer space than probably what you're experiencing.
Yeah.
Then the next week it'd be 20 girls, the next week there'd be 40, and then 70, and then 100, and then 200 girls. And we're getting requests all over the world to open. Like I'm talking every
Different
day.
chapters that you have opening.
Yeah,
Ooh.
people being like,
Right.
I want, like, I live in a small town in Italy, and because of seeing girls like you, like, I feel like I can skate, and I just have no one to skate with. Like, could you open up a chapter here?
That's
and
so cool.
yeah, we end up opening up New York City, San Diego, Paris, Lisbon, and this year we're opening up Mexico City and Vancouver. And these
Wow.
chapters are like very similar to what we do in Venice, where it's like we realized in Venice pretty early on that like there's so many people who want to skate, but they're just so nervous.
Right.
And not just
Yeah.
that, making friends as an adult sucks. Like if you're
Yeah.
not from LA, like it sucks to move here.
Oh,
For
yeah.
sure.
And I just look at the way I felt when I moved here and I knew nobody and I was lost. And like I see girls come to our group skates and they make all their friends. They get jobs through it. They get housing. Like there's girls who have their own groups through Grlswirl. And it's like this whole community just like was just poof, in the air. It just
Awesome.
started. And we started teaching mentorships to kids. We started like doing these huge fundraisers where we did our last one at Vice headquarters, and we raised like $11,000 for a safe place for youth for their like skateboarding program. And
That's
like
awesome, man.
we've just been able to do so much through skating, like
Yeah.
help people so much. And all these chapters are doing the same work. They host group skates, they do all this mentorship stuff, and we're just like unifying people in the world through skateboarding. Like this is something that I think skateboarding, in a lot of ways was just seen as one single. It's happening in surf right now too. It's happening in every space. Is like there's only one person representing what it could be,
Yeah.
and now it's like people are recognizing you can be just like you can be okay at skating, and that's cool. Like you don't have to be the best.
Mhm.
You don't have to be the best at anything. Like you can still do it, and it can change your life. And you can, I don't know, in this freaking political atmosphere where I feel helpless all the time.
True.
And being able to look at like what we're doing and have this like freaking group of people who are all behind making
Yeah.
change in their community. It's like we have power. Grlswirl has given power to people. And I think like we say, people are like, women's empowerment, women's empowerment. It's like, it's real. Like giving power is a real thing. And it's like people use this like branding marketing term, but like there's a real reason that like empowerment is like a a main goal for a lot of people because it like changes full faces of community. So I've seen that happen in Venice. I'm seeing that happen right now with our other chapters, and I'm seeing it happen in a lot of different ways, and it's really freaking inspiring. And
how's the skateboard community and welcoming Grlswirl into the world?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Everyone
like
was
brands and stuff like that.
I mean, we're very fortunate, knock on wood, that we haven't gotten a lot of, I think never gotten
so cool
anything. Cause from day one, it wasn't like, oh, we're here to be rich. We're here to be famous. We're trying to be like the next this. No, like we're here very solely to get people on boards and to give back to our community in whatever way possible. We work with like Jeff Ho is our judge at our skate comp, and I'm friends with Tony and Stacy, and all these like OG skaters are the people that we skate with. And
cool.
Juice Magazine, all of those people, like we want to lift up everyone who gave us the space to do this, and we want to also then pass it on to other people to give them power in their space. So
and respect the culture and respect everything that came from all that.
Like we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for any of those people. Like even just the skate park being built, that is like, that wasn't us. Like we're so grateful, all those people who fought for years, so we did like a whole thing in Monster Children. Like we've been really accepted into, more mainstream spaces. We work with the Barracks all the time. We just got a humanitarian award from the Barracks.
You were saying that was last week?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So we've gotten like a lot of support. Now been sponsored with Roxy for the past year, and did a big like clothing line with them, like a Grlswirl x Roxy. We have an in-house agency. Because one of our co-founders is like a famous photographer model, and from day one we've been shooting for huge brands, Google, anyone, name it, we've shot for or modeled for or whatever for, Subaru, everyone. And Roxy was like, you guys can direct shoot the whole campaign, like do everything in-house and design the whole line. And we did it, and finally crossed over to surf, and now we're going to make surfboards this year. We're going into that space as well, which is really groovy.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So
do you have like an office or something, like a space you guys are all at, or is it just?
No, it's all. So right now, Kelsey, my business partner, she's a co-founder, lives in Portugal. She runs it with me. So out of all the co-founders left, like working with your friends is no freaking joke, man. Like I'm sure you know.
Yeah.
Right.
We're all amazing women. Everyone has their own superpower, and that's the only reason we are where we are. But I would say like recognizing who's, like we can't always all be equal. We all have different backgrounds, and certain people shine in communities, certain people shine in business. So now there's only two of us running it, and it's like been flying colors. We just officially signed last week with Zoomies, like a huge contract to have Grlswirl in 700 stores worldwide, and we're starting to like really like open up the space where we like. I mean, again, we didn't start a business we did not start this business to make a business. We started this business.
Is it a nonprofit at first, or no? Just no.
Always a social enterprise.
Okay.
So like all of our money is like literally just there to be able to support our chapters. I'm not paid. I've never been salaried from Grlswirl. I work pretty much full time for 5 years. I'll be the last one to be paid.
Wow.
But other people are now paid. We have a sponsored skater, so we have a team, like a full team of sponsored athletes, and all of them are paid, which is awesome. That was a big step for us to pay our riders correctly. And they're actually going to have pro models this year, every rider, which we're turning everyone pro in our own way. Like, women,
So
we're
sick.
like working, we're just flipping things on their head in a hilarious way. We're like, we're going to make ourselves pro because we can make our own boards. Like we work with Carver and we distribute our own boards. We do everything. So yeah, we really like made this whole business just to be able to pick, because we're all working double jobs, like doing all these things, like to keep this afloat, to pay riders, to pay accounting. Like we're sponsored by, there's so much work that goes behind what people see. And I think it's just such a funny thing where people are like, oh, you guys just look like cute girls like skating on the internet. And like, that's so funny. Like I wish it was that. I would kill for it just to be that. But we have like group skates happening around the world. We have events, we have retreats around the world, we have nonprofit work. We're doing like so much programming, and then we have sponsors that all have their own it's like nuts. It's crazy.
Damn. So how long has it been going for now?
partners.
How long has it been? How many years now?
5 years. Yeah.
It's just grown and grown and grown.
Yeah. It's going to be really crazy.
And how is it visiting other chapters around the world?
Yeah,
to see that you started that.
Yeah, and do you go to each place and meet everybody?
I haven't been to Paris yet. I went to Lisbon. We launched a documentary with Carver last June. And so we went to like the screenings, and we went to, like this little town in Portugal.
Portugal's
where we have a
amazing, by the
chapter.
way.
Amazing. Their scene is nuts right now.
Beautiful, man.
Yeah.
He wants to go surf there, like Lisbon or something. It's nice out there.
Yeah, it's great. It's kind of reminds me of San Francisco. Definitely gives that vibe of like old San Francisco. It's like, yeah, we went there and there was like over 100 people to see the screening. All these girls skating, and they're decked out in Grlswirl boards and pads and helmets, and they have all this stuff.
Crazy.
And yeah, people. I mean, every day people tell me like they started skating because of us, and they're like super inspired because of that. And it's like I freaking get it. Like now we're trying to expand. Like our co-founders just happened to be the people who came that day, so we are a group of white girls. Like we honestly started just because we were all there and it was the only people, so now we're trying to make sure our team riders like have more diversity, have more stories, because you are what you see is what you can understand. So like if like a little black girl has never seen like a girl just like surf skating, why would they ever know, so we're really trying to expand our riders and expand the face of Grlswirl, and like just like grow what it could be to people. And yeah, it's like it's turning. We're the biggest skate crew in the world right now. Like we've just.
There was never a woman's skate crew at all before this?
There's one called longboarding skate crew, but I don't know if I don't think it's a women's focused thing. Okay. It's just like a longboarding skate crew. And they're really cool. They're like super inspiring. Have done amazing work.
Yeah, I did list like some of the women pros. Are these women been involved, like Leticia or Patty McGee or Sky Brown, Lizzie Armato, Nora, all those girls too. There's so many. Like
yeah, they're
Peggy
amazing.
Have you met?
Oh wow! Okay.
What?
Those are big names.
Yeah, they are. But I'm just wondering if they know about it, been involved at all, or probably know about it. Probably, right?
Yeah, I don't.
And do you have goals to work with any of those kind of pros that like? Yeah. Or get connected with them.
Yeah, I think we're gonna do we're trying to do an event with Nora soon. Like we've worked with Patty. We've
OG.
Yeah. A few of like the women pros have been involved. We do this thing called Surf Skate Fest every year in Venice. Like we close down the entire street under the Venice sign and put ramps.
Wow.
And we did that in August.
Damn, I'm gonna go next year. That's cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
That Jeff judged last year. And the year before, and that's where we'll have like Laura Thornhill come judge, Eddie Robertson will come. Like we've had like a lot of the OGs come take part in it, because it's us. Like, dude, like you guys are in the music world. It's like you getting to hang out with Beethoven, like the originators of music. Like we get to hang out. I get to live in the same town where I run into Tony Alva. I run into Jeff Ho. Like these people created skateboarding. The culture creators are in our neighborhood, and they're alive, and they have stories, and they want to share, and they want to be a part of it. It's like this won't be 20 years from now. I don't know what it's going to be like just to have this festival every year to celebrate surf skate, like surfing and surf skate is like so important to like really pay homage to like the culture and the creativity around surf skating, not like ripping. You don't have to rip to be a skater. You can just skate.
I love that.
You don't have to rip to surf. You can just surf. You don't have to like be the best musician in the world. You can just play music. Like
Facts.
There's just so much misconception that you have to be a type of person to do these things. It's
you have to do a kickflip or an ollie.
Yeah, no.
To be down.
No, you can just be whoever you want to be and try things. Wear whatever the fuck you want. You could wear skirts. You could do whatever you want. And I think I think that's what's so beautiful about this age we're in, because like I fantasize about the 70s pretty often. I'm like, oh gosh, like such a big part of my inspiration of the way I dress and the way I shoot things and the way I talk to people. Like I love it so much.
That's cool,
because it was so untouched by consumerism in a lot of ways. But then I was really thinking about it. I was like, if I was alive in the 70s and I was a woman skating, I doubt I'd be able to run a business. I don't think I'd own a women-owned skate brand. I don't think I'd be taken seriously the way I am now. Like, I just don't think that I'm grateful for where we live now and how we live it, and that there's access to things like podcasts and TikTok, where people could see something that they've never seen before and really like take that in as themselves and change their lives through it. Like even freaking ice baths. Like you're saying, like you started getting the ice baths and all these things, and it's changed your life. It's like those things were probably brought to you from media, or like just seeing, like even Andrew Huberman, you said, is on your podcast. Is like those kind of people are just changing the paradigm. They're shifting the whole world right now.
Yeah, especially
And
social media. It's so powerful, man.
so powerful.
It's powerful.
It's evil too. It's dark, but it also has some really great positives to it.
Yeah, it's
Are you
literally
on TikTok
the worst. Yeah, I fucking love TikTok. I love TikTok. It's better than every platform out there.
Wow.
I will die on that mountain.
You spend a lot of time on your phone and social media too?
Yeah, I have limits. Like, I definitely protect myself. Like, I have like my toolkit of my mental health toolkit that I do every day, and if I miss one, I'm fucked.
So what is that?
Breath work every single day, 20 minutes of exercise every single day, and like I always try to eat something pretty good.
Healthy.
Like, make my own food. Either it's a smoothie or it's a meal or
Yeah,
something.
that's awesome.
If I miss one, I notice. If I miss one of those 3, I notice. It's a big, like, when you're working 2 full-time jobs, you're kind of like, the water is like here on neck high, and
Yes.
if you don't do your mental health stuff, you're going to go under pretty quick, you know? So like, always making sure that you have your toolkit to keep you above when you need it in any part of your life has been just like really helpful for me. And we do like retreats where we teach girls to surf and skate, and I always, you know, make them do breath work with me and try to introduce these things the same way. Like, just introducing one class to people is like such a big deal. It changes your world, because social media, they're hacking our brains, so you have to find your way out.
Yeah, I think
true.
With social media, I mean, we discovered skate without social media, and it was something had such an impact. I think just skating alone is so powerful, you know, like that introduction. It's just something that it's unbeatable, you know, in a way where, like, even without social media, I think, you know, if you discovered skate, you'd be just in love with it, you know, like you would just be like pushing it.
Totally.
Because it's so powerful. Like, I never forget the first time, you know, witnessing somebody in life skate in front of me, and just like, oh my God, like, you know, it's like it's like mind blowing, you know, it's life changing. And then just falling into that wormhole of like, oh my God, I want to hang out with that person. I want to see where they're going and what they're doing. But that element never leaves you, you know, of that introduction, which was what you're doing, you know, reaching out to people. Yeah. Like, I think has such a stronger impact to meet somebody face to face and be like, hey, let's go skating. It's like, or let's meet up and go skate. That's huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
And I also think it was such a barrier to entry. Like, people were there's so much gatekeeping for so long. That's what our Monster Children thing was all about. Was like, the writer, he was like, I honestly like was one of those guys who was like, what, girls are skating? Like, that's so lame. And he's like, I got older, I had a kid, I kind of looked around and I was like, wait, it's actually awesome that girls are skating. Like, and it's I recognize when people have a hard time dealing with women or like new people skating or surfing, even myself, you know, when I see like a new person getting in water on a foam top and they're in your way and you're about to, like, you're running into them because they don't know what they're doing. I get frustrated. Okay. And I know that I recognize that in myself, that I'm like, I'm frustrated because I'm trying so hard to like fit in and be like, do it properly, and I'm just embarrassed for that. It's like a personal thing. Like, people who have problems with you, they have problems with themselves. Like, you're just having anyone who has a problem with us skating, it's like, you just have a problem. You're just not, it's you, it's not me. Like, it isn't. You said that. You're absolutely right. I think.
Look at yourself.
Yeah, you gotta look at yourself here, because like,
insecurities, man.
I think anybody who really loves something, I can tell if someone's a good surfer if they're like, yeah, we love, like, it's just about having fun. They always say that. It's just about having fun. I'm like, you're good. You rip. Because anyone who's not that good is going to be like,
though. It's very true.
Yeah, it's like totally different mindset. But no, I think like having like the support, the co-founders that we have had from day one, like, there's so many community driven people, such like sisterhood is so alive in this group, where it's like, you feel when you have your highs, you have someone to celebrate with. When you have your lows, you have someone to deal with. You know, like,
that is nice.
That also translates over to surfing and skating. Like, when you're going into these spaces, even if you're seeing it in person or online or in a magazine, whatever it is, like, entering into a new space with another person is like so helpful. You know, like, even again, where I'm relating back to music, like learning with other people or like bouncing ideas off of like what you're working on our songs. Like, it's the same thing with skate. Like, that's why having this space where people can come and learn and like hang out with a group of girls every week to skate is like revolutionary, because it's like, oh, I don't have to be alone in this new scary thing. And I just think more people who will realize that, like, I don't care if you're an accountant, a waitress, like a teacher. If you realize, if you work together with the people around you, like you have so much power. People just work against each other. Women work so hard against each other. We're like taught to compete. We're taught to judge each other. We're taught to hate each other. Like, I don't know. I look at movies from like 2000. I'm like, literally every movie is like women hating each other. It's like, it's so gnarly. Like, I'm brainwashed that my whole life.
Are you less competitive now?
Yes. So much less competitive.
Yeah.
I'm like, the relationship I have with women and myself is like night to day, you know?
Awesome.
And that took like being introduced to a scene of really special people. And I just assume everyone's like that, but they're not, you know?
That's embedded pretty much in the American culture to compete. You know, the capitalist way is to compete.
Yeah.
The whole idea of capitalism is to be better than somebody else.
Yeah.
So that translates to a lot of how we treat each other, which is kind of strangling, you know, a lot of people. Many times.
So much. Yeah. It's crazy. Even as a woman, like, we're just taught to think you're ugly all the time and to buy more things to make yourself look pretty. It's like, there's just so much messaging that we're all dealt with, that like being around a group of women to like, and I wouldn't even just say women, like men are allowed in our space, like trans people are allowed in our space. Like, we open the space to whoever. Like, we did, where was I was in Lisbon, and I said, like, who here is intimidated to go to the skate park? And so many guys raised their hand.
Wow.
Because it's not just women, you know. It's like, imagine marginalized people who are even more scared, or people who are disabled, or whatever these things are, like, just not having a space to go to do that. I can't even imagine. And men, like, y'all have to be so hard to go into these spaces. You have to put on such a hardcore face to be accepted, and it's like men get like their ass kicked in the water. Like, they get I'm a girl, so although I get the do a kickflip and like let me mansplain you how to skate, it's like that sucks. But it sucks more to like have to get yelled at as a guy at a skate park. Like, that sucks too, you know. It's like, it's really hard for dudes as well to go into these spaces. And I think like just opening up the concept of our trademarked thing is world's okayest skaters, like, just it's like, be okay. It's okay to be okay. It's like,
I love that, man.
It's like just entering things as like, I'm a dude and I'm going to a skate park and I don't have to be the best. I don't have to compete, and I'm just going to hang and talk to people and smile. And like, that's cool too.
Especially kids have so much pressure as it is. It's like, let me just go cruise around and not trying to, you know what I mean? Just like, I love that.
Yeah, it's really like, it's a cool way to look at the world. It's definitely helped me in a lot of parts of my life. Like, going into being a CEO, I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I had to figure it out. It's like, it's okay to be an okay CEO. It's okay.
Are you do you practice skate? Like, do you try to learn tricks, or are you just cruising?
Yeah, I practice a lot.
Like, are you working on a trick right now, or?
Yeah, so I tore my ACL last year.
Oh, wow.
Skating, someone slammed into me. And so since then, I think I've just been a little like tripped out by pushing myself.
Yeah.
But before that, and kind of still now, I was working on just like getting really good at Burt slides, but more like translating that, because I skate a lot of transition.
Same.
Like, oh, groovy. Yeah.
Half pipes more.
Oh, no, that's not me, but that's baller. I like to skate just like parks and bowls.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm really interested in like surf style skating. Like, I skate with
carving and all that stuff. Yeah.
But even like on skateboards, like
Yeah.
carving on
Yeah,
skateboards. Like
for
I just
sure.
think that style for me is like
I like that too.
Top.
Steve Olsen, know who that is?
Mhm,
Legend.
yeah.
He still was ripping over there too.
Yeah. I surf with him sometimes. He still surfs breakwater.
So
He's
cool,
still
man.
like super rad and down to like, he wants to judge Swirlfest next year. Like people are still down.
Legend.
People are still down to like participate is what I'm saying. Is
That's
like
great.
how cool is that they're still open to that. Like I just blown away every time that they're like, hell yeah, like I want to be a part of that. And those are like the legendary names, but there's so many names that are not legendary that just have the coolest stories. Like, you know, it's like the people who are like, yeah, like I grew up in Santa Monica and we would skate this spot. And I remember Jay Adams came over and we were all like, we were all skating on this little bank and we thought we were doing such a good job. And he came over and literally did an air, and none of us have ever seen an air before. And we just sat there like, what the, and that's like my neighbor, you know? You hear stories like that every day living where we live. And it's like, it's just so cool being here. Like,
That's so, I mean, you're living like in the Mecca of where skateboarding, like, so much happened, so much. And the fact that Alba still lives there is so sick.
Mm-hmm.
It's so cool.
He's still around. Yeah, I saw him the other night, and I had a surreal night the other night. I was at, we did like Juice did a screening of Thrashin', and
we saw about Thrashin' yesterday.
Yeah,
because my friend's in that movie. Yeah, it's
amazing.
Okay.
Yeah, they did a screening of it, and the director Catherine was there, and Tony was there, and I walked in. I'm friends with Tony, so we had a group skate. So we brought like a big group of girls there who've never seen it, and I went up to Tony. I was like, "Hey, nice to see you." And we're talking and Catherine's next to him, who helped direct the film, and Tony was like, "Hey, I want to introduce you to my friend Lucy," and pitched Grlswirl to her.
Wow.
Like Tony, I was like, he didn't pitch it, but he was like, "This is Lucy from Grlswirl. She runs this like women's skate crew, and it's super cool." And it was like the most surreal moment of my life. Like
so
Tony
cool.
Alba was like pitching me to. It was like, it's so cool. You know,
I love that, man.
I'm just like for me in my head, it's like I just figured out skating, and I just met all these incredible people, and like how am I even qualified to come out of that person's mouth getting introduced? And it's like, no, you are like,
but you're doing incredible things with it too.
Yeah.
It's not about you, it's about what you're doing for the communities. You know what I mean? Like you're giving back, so it's like it's really selfless and awesome because you love it so much.
I love
and you just dived into it and fucking was obsessed with it and changed your life.
Yeah, but that's what's so cool is like I just hope if anyone's listening and like wants to try something and feels like they can't and like they're so far away from it, it's like, look at you, like you've been doing this for 4 years, and like today you went viral. It's like you can do things and start things and have no clue what it's gonna be, but you just do it and you keep doing it
because you love it.
And
it's
like
fun.
You don't have to like. Yeah, like one day Tony Alva may say your name out of his mouth. You know, you don't know what's going to happen. And I just think that's like such a cool way to approach things rather than the way kids right now are approaching things, which is like they see it online and they think they have to be like, I don't know, if I'm going to start filmmaking, I have to be able to make this crazy video or
you don't.
You know, you don't.
You got to start somewhere, man.
Start somewhere and like, yeah.
Everybody's been called a poser in their life. Everybody comes from somewhere. It's everybody's first show, first time doing something, not doing it right. You know what I mean? Like, it's for me. I never tried drugs or alcohol, and skateboarding since the 80s has been my natural high.
Oh,
and
cool.
I'm still skating a 9-foot ramp every weekend in Malibu.
You are?
Yeah, I dropped in 2 weeks ago. I did a rock and roll last week. Now I got my hand on the coping last week, bringing back my hand plants.
So
I've been going back to my friend's rip in Malibu. It's a brand new 9-footer. And I'm just like facing all my fears because I haven't skated like that since the 80s. Wow. Because I was trying to be a pro in the 80s. I got in Thrasher in 83.
What?
I was a freestyle skateboarder. Yeah. So now I'm trying to bring back all these tricks that I've been actually landing on mini ramps for the past 15 years, but now I'm bringing them back to vert. And he came with me too. The first time I wouldn't drop in, came back again. I dropped in. I'm 53, but like I still have that high of skateboarding when I drop in, or even if I'm just pumping. It's in my spirit for my life. I'll be a skater until I'm dead. You know what I mean? Like it's the only thing I've ever loved. I hated sports. This is the one thing that like just skating by myself, trying to learn the ollie, fucking like 100 days in a row till you finally land that first ollie. Is this natural high and this persistence and this like dedication to something that doesn't talk back to you, doesn't judge you. It doesn't, people call me gay in high school because I didn't have a girlfriend, and it was said I was going to take my skateboard to the prom, but I went to that fucking prom and I was the fucking prom king, and I was breakdancing at my fucking prom in 88.
Nice.
Yeah, but like I didn't care about girls. All I cared about was skateboarding, kind of like you, dancing. I didn't care about. I just wanted to be a pro skater my whole fucking life and just skating and doing contests. Had my blinders on. Then I met a girl and she fucking ruined everything, broke my heart, and then I quit skateboarding. Oh fuck. And then I brought it back because I moved to New York. I was a street skating in New York, but now I'm like living in Cali for like 20 years. Now I'm fucking skating with a soy, going to Cabs Ramp, all this surreal shit. Growing up, seeing these dudes in magazines, they've been on my podcast, and it's just like it's very surreal to live here. But to see your love and passion for this thing, it was just like supposed to be a hobby and a trend that never went away, and now it's in the fucking Olympics. It's really fucking crazy. And there was no girl skaters when we started skating. There was only a couple black skaters.
Yeah.
And
that
Steve
was inspirational
Stedman, Chuck
already.
Trace. There was always
like
some
for me,
skaters.
I was like, he's got dreadlocks. I want to have dreads. When I was
it
like,
wasn't diverse at all.
Yeah.
And it was just punk rock music and skateboard videos. And now it's like hip hop and all this. I love how like everything's meshed together now. All walks of life, all the music, everything. Like skateboard is just like, I don't know. It just saves so many fucking lives.
Skateboarding
man.
is like.
Sorry, I went on a rant right there. I was getting emotional.
I loved your rant.
I was getting emotional on that rant.
That was awesome.
But skateboarding
Thanks
definitely
for sharing.
like. Yeah.
It's like a different. I look at the surf industry, and I think I see it in this like golden light for some reason, and I started asking my friends, like one of my friends used to work at Stab, and he was like, yeah, no, because I would go to these surf premieres and everyone's just standing and not talking to each other and no one cheers each other on. I'm like, what is this? Because I go to a skate premiere, or when we did our premieres for our film, like everyone's cheering each other on. And it's like the culture between surf and skate night to day.
Oh, yeah.
There's unlimited cement. There's finite waves. Like it's just such a different, that mindset is projected through the whole industry.
I've noticed this too.
Yeah, skaters are like, they celebrate each other. They're so resilient. They're so like, it's such a different space than surfing. And I surf every day. I love surfing. But like skateboarding, it's like, there's something about it that it transcends community, it transcends race, it transcends all this stuff that like, I just feel like it's something that there's a reason why for me, I'm so called to use it as a great unifier, because it's already unified people through there. You just even said it unified you as from your 20s to your adult life. Like it's starting to bring you back to yourself. Yeah. Imagine what it can do for full communities, and people are like, they're showing it. We just went to a reservation in New Mexico, and they built a skate park for these kids, and like they said these kids literally, it's like a completely different person than the year before, seeing them with a skate park, and it's just, I just am so excited to be in the space, and we're figuring it out. We're funding everything ourselves. Like I love that. We have never taken any investment. Like we are bootstrapping this, like fully taking risks every day. We've risked all of our money so many times.
Because you believe in it though.
Because we believe in it. Yeah. We believe that like we're doing this for the right reasons, and people will back us, and they have. And I just like, I'm excited because you look at surf and, this whole thing that just happened with board riders, and Salema, one of my friends as well, he like, I heard him on a podcast, and I've talked to him recently that he was like, they convinced like that this industry convinced people that all these brands is what surfing was. They convinced people that this is what surfing is. It's a white guy in board shorts, surfing power waves, doing airs, whatever. They convinced that, but it's not that.
Nah, man.
It's not. And now brands are coming in who are mission driven, who are different and alternative, who represent different things. And they are saying, actually, this is what it is. This is what surf is. This is what skate is. And in my opinion, those are the brands that are going to change the world. And I really think Grlswirl will change the world. Like I put my life on it that we're going to be one of the greats in the space for women's skateboarding. Like there's no women's apparel brand out there. There's not a women's skate apparel brand out there right now. We're the only ones in the market, and we're crossing over to surf too. Like we have like a lot of potential.
Sick.
But we all are working full-time jobs and like trying to make it work. So like we're really just keeping our eye on the prize and doing our best, and trying to figure it out every day, man. Every day trying to work it out. And
we sound like you were, I mean, it's amazing, man.
Thanks.
Incredible.
Thanks.
It's so amazing. Like I want to help out and do something, whatever we can to help. And this podcast will get the word out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like maybe do some stuff with Liquid Death with you guys or something.
Thanks.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that'd be groovy. Yeah.
I love that. I think it's awesome. Sometimes we bring, my wife works at the barracks, and sometimes we'll bring my friends' kids and their daughters, young daughters, to skate, or young whatever boys there, and just skate around the park when it's empty. And just they're so excited to get into that skate park and just see it, even if just barely kicking on their board, just to be there. Like I love young kids when they get into it. It's like
me too.
It's not how I was when I first found it. Like this was like fucking life changing.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Even my son, like he had some bully issues in high school, and then these older kids saw him skating outside doing kick flips and tray flips and all this shit, and they took him under their wings. They were like seniors. He was a 9th grader, and you know how when you're a freshman you get fucked with a lot.
Yeah.
And after that they loved Max because he could jump off the steps at the school and all this shit because he could skate.
Wow.
So that it just broke this barrier, and they're like, we fuck with this kid,
Times have definitely changed.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It was really cool. Like, so yeah, skateboarding is just, it's like universal. It's like kind of music too. If you see back in our day, if we saw somebody with Ramones shirt across the street, like, okay, we're on the same fucking tribe.
Right.
Same culture. We love the same music.
But what's weird though is skating though, a lot of times, like you're saying, I got made fun of a lot they're like, why don't you get a car? Like, why are you skating to school? You know, and it was just like, it was a weird thing. They're like, how come you're not driving? You know, like, why are you skateboarding? That's like a kid that it was in high school, you know, and it was really like hating on it. Like people were
he'll grow out of it.
Try to hit you. You know, they were like, oh, you're doing this little kid thing.
That's because they never tried it. That's why.
This was early on, though. It was like really like an underground type of thing, you know.
It was very rebellious to like not be playing football or on the sports teams, and I was just riding a skateboard. You know what I'm saying? With my fucking Vans and
absolutely, like that was like
my thrift shop pants, my safety pins, and my shirt.
But I think,
cool.
But
do you know what I mean? Though, like, it was like,
it was completely like it was nowhere near Main Street.
Wow,
far from it. Far.
If you said Olympics back then, you'd be like, what? I talked about in the podcast. I never talked about this in the podcast. I talked about yesterday. My friend, I lived in Newport, Rhode Island, and there was a big thriving skate scene there in the 80s. But the Olympics had come to town, and we'd skate these small, like 3-foot banks in the middle of the town center. That was our spot. We run that shit, like skating these banks. And then during the Olympics, an old lady, a couple had been walking through there, and a kid was skating, and the board shot out and broke this lady's ankle. So I didn't know that. I was like 11 years old. I went down the street to get my mom a pack of cigarettes at the liquor store. No phones, none of that shit. A cop pulls up, looks at me, says, "Get in the car." I was like, "Me?" Fucking put me in the back of the cop car. 11 years old. I was fucking shitting my pants. Like, he's like, "Don't worry, you know, they're banning skateboards. Skateboards illegal now in this town."
That's right.
And I was like, I couldn't call my mom. My mom's probably like, "Where's my mom?" Was like, she was like, "Where the fuck are my cigarettes?" She didn't care where it was. I'm just kidding. So then I go to the police station. I'm fucking walk in there. All my friends are there. All their skateboards are stacked up. Like, it was all like Chris Jones, all the guys in Verbal Assault, like the local punk bands. Like, what the fuck? They're trying to ban skateboarding. And I remember, like, we made a petition. We got it all signed by the whole fucking city in Newport, Rhode Island, where we lived. And we went to fucking City Hall. And we all went there, and we got the law changed. It was this big deal. The law didn't even last that long.
That's an amazing story.
Yeah, because the Olympics wasn't there that long. We're like, fuck that. Like, we didn't do anything wrong. It was an accident. But I remember going and petitioning. That was the first kind of thing I did. Pro skateboarding, and then we actually got the law changed.
Wow.
Oh, and they didn't put me in a cell. We called my mom one night. She didn't answer the fucking phone. I was like there all night.
Right.
My friend's parents had to drive me home. My mom probably had my other brother get cigarettes for her. Anyway, it was a crazy moment.
Crazy story.
Where skateboard was banned. Yeah.
That they were trying to ban it in a lot of different places. I just remember that. Like, it was a big thing. Like,
skateboarding's not a crime.
Yeah, skateboarding's not a crime.
I love that
because
t-shirt.
It was like
t-shirt.
Everywhere.
My sticker.
Like, it was just insane. Like, cops busting kids skateboarding all the time.
It's like people are getting fucked up doing crazy shit. And I'm skating a fucking I don't know, skating a curb. Doing a slappy on a curb.
Like, what are you guys doing here at night?
Weird. It's so crazy.
Thank you for reminding me about that. That was like such an integral part of like hiding from like cops and stuff.
She did. I'm sorry. Okay, Lucy, Stella just farted on you.
No, that's great.
So now Josh Brolin from Thrashin', sitting there, has been farted on.
She's just
my friend Steph
lips.
Torlev, an incredible comedian, was here last week. Farted on her twice. There's only been a couple people. That means she's totally comfortable. Does it smell?
She's just licking her lips.
I don't give a shit.
All right.
Okay, wait. This is so crazy that happened.
But it was happening
this is
in
like
a
the
lot
80s,
of places.
like 82.
In the 80s, it was like really like...
We're old, by the way.
Yeah.
I know, but you guys are young ass
He said
spirits.
I know. We are. We're spirits.
You're talking to me about the 80s, so I'm going to understand that.
We feel young.
I'm old too, huh?
No, hell no.
I'm 33.
No, you're chilling.
You're the age of
I'm 53.
The age of Chris.
Damn, I'm 20 years older than you. That's crazy, but I'm still skating.
You're still skating,
and my
dude.
skin's pretty... People tell me my skin's pretty good.
I would never guess 53. I'll be honest with you.
Thank you.
For real.
Thank you. We take care of ourselves, me and Derek. We try, man. Our diets or our healthy living, you know?
Hell yeah.
Cold punch sauna. So what's next for you? What are some like ultimate goals for this?
Yeah, where would you like to see this go?
Grlswirl.
Yeah, my like ultimate dream would there would be, I always envision this like network of Grlswirl around the world. Like I see like hands in the air, like everyone unified, like that we have power to do things and like make differences in the world, like have leverage and changing things and giving power to women in these communities. And I just think skateboarding could do that, and we can be the leader of that. Like, we have the systems to make it where we can have these chapters and everyone can do things together. And yeah, I just see it like a really beautiful, like sustainable, democratic type of like unified voice. Just like you said, you skaters came together and got this law changed. Totally. It's like there's power in that, man. Like
100%.
Yeah, so I feel really inspired by that.
I'm inspired by you.
Thank you.
I love your energy and your mission.
Thank you. Thanks for saying that.
And one of my questions, are you an optimist or pessimist? But you're totally an optimist.
Yeah, obviously.
I mean,
too much.
I mean, you believed in yourself this whole entire journey to get where you are now. All the things, the different jobs you were doing. Like,
yeah, hustling.
It's crazy.
Thanks.
Working at the bowling alley and then going to fucking different countries. And
I tell my friends that all the time.
And squatting and all that shit.
Yeah.
Or living on people's couches and fucking couch surfing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That was crazy. That was really sketchy, actually.
But that's because you believed in yourself and you're fucking...
Yeah.
You're on a mission.
Yeah, I really was. But I was on a directionless mission for a long time.
Yes.
And I think skateboarding gave me a lot of direction, and I've seen that happen. I think we we brought skateboarding down to refugees in Tijuana twice now.
Sick.
And I had like my profound switch in my brain, like when my life switched was when I did that. We went down there and we taught these kids to skate, and they were from all over. Like a lot of them were from Honduras, escaping war. They had a backpack to their name. They left their family. Like, I can't even imagine how many miles they already had to trek in danger just to get to the border, to be spit on and treated like shit, and like nowhere to go in this ghetto city, like really gnarly, you know? We brought them skateboarding, and the joy, I feel like every time I talk about it, I could cry. Like the joy it brought them. Like I saw them see a skateboard and find quickly like, oh, I have an identity. Mm-hmm. Like it turns out
that's what it does.
We
Correct,
found
identity.
out later that the kids were sleeping with the boards, and that the shelters were using them as like a way to get them to do chores because it was the only thing they look forward to is skating. And I was like, this thing has the power to like change everyone's lives, you know? And I don't want to live my life building. I will eventually, like, I'm going to have a business to have to support what I'm doing, but I don't want to just like make clothes or like it's like, what's the point? You know, like, what's the point? At the end of the day, Mudwater always says, like, at the end of the day, don't stress too much. Like, we're just a coffee replacement brand. Like, don't kill yourself. Yeah. I love that. Like, you don't have to kill yourself over these things, like these consumers. Mm-hmm. Like, it's a company, you know? Yeah. It's like, at the end of the day, it's the passion that counts. And my grandfather was like friends with the Pope. He was like the head of the Red Cross in Poland. He did like things for the world that changed literally saved millions of people's lives. Like, he was like a real person in the world who like cared about helping people. Yeah. And I just see that so much for myself. I'm sure. I don't want to like have a legacy where I'm just selling shit. Like, I just don't want that. Like,
you're a very selfless person though, I can tell.
Thanks.
And like you're thriving for that community and that giving back and stuff. And a very giving person.
Yeah.
Were your parents like that too? I mean, it's how you're raised, obviously. But yeah. Very loving.
They're awesome.
Open, like you talk about anything with your parents. It wasn't like...
Yeah. I hit the jackpot there, I would say.
And just supporting everything you wanted to do, like.
Yeah.
It's so important, man.
They're good people, man. I have the best parents, and the best friend. I had a great childhood. That's a real lucky, awesome, and I know that's a rare thing to say.
Yeah, some people are like afraid to even say that.
Yeah.
Because everybody wants to say like I had it rough or I had it like this, and it's not okay to like say, oh, had a loving, wonderful family.
Well, that's why, you know, if you are that person like me, like use it for good. It's like
totally
use it for like the people that you know that don't have the tools. Like, give them tools.
That's how your parents raised you though, to be loving and, you know, compassionate.
Yeah. Yeah, and
so
I feel like
a good job,
I feel like all the co-founders around me of Grlswirl the same way. Like, they all are just amazing. They had not had perfect childhoods, all of them, of course, but like they're all just the same vibe of like, we want to help people, and we open mentorships up for anyone to want to come. And the amount of girls from our community who are the same way, that they're like, I learned to skate and I want to teach kids also and teach other people. It's like the gift that keeps giving.
Right.
Totally.
And the way that I teach skateboarding is I teach people for them to know how to teach people. So I give them these like terms and this terminology that's like, they can, by the end of the lesson, they will 100% be able to teach somebody. And every lesson we finish, we always say like, okay, I taught you today, but like your job is to teach the next person. And if we can just like keep paying it forward in all spaces, like, yeah, it's such a like, yeah, we have man, we could change the world.
Do you know what PMA is?
No.
Positive mental attitude?
No.
I
know what that is.
That's like a model that we live by, all of us do. Like,
cool.
you definitely have that, man.
Yeah.
It's like what the mind can conceive and believe it can achieve.
Yeah.
You have that.
Thanks. Yeah.
This is awesome to hang out with you, meet you, and you have really awesome positive energy, man.
Thanks.
And that Mudwater is for the listeners. They know I have this love-hate. If you've been listening to this podcast for 4 years, you know that I've quit coffee 1,000 times. It makes me shittery and jittery, or shittery. And we talk about all the time how I quit it and go to Maz, and I go back and forth, and like, there's something about coffee that I feel like maybe Mudwater will be the replacement. I'm not trying to do. I'm
excited
not
to
trying
share
to do an ad
this.
on here or anything. I love the Amaz too. I'll still keep the Amaz, but I keep hearing about the Mudwater as well. And like, it's awesome.
Excited.
There's an alternative,
I'm so
man.
Curious. Yeah.
I'm so excited to get you guys to try it.
You just had a crazy like kind of anxiety, kind of stressful situation, drinking too much coffee last week, and
I
then
had to step off of it. As a kid, I realized that it gave me anxiety. I didn't know what it was. This terminology wasn't really existing so much then as a kid. Yeah. I don't know why I was drinking coffee as a kid, but it was just like, oh, this is cool, and it's like
I'm an adult. I'm drinking my Sanka,
and then it would just be like, really horrible coffee at that.
Oh.
My mom drank Sanka
because there was no coffee culture in America.
Yeah, of course.
And so it's just like panicking, panic attack, death trip, horrible. And then I stopped coffee for like years, moved to Brazil, really fell in love with coffee.
I bet coffee's insane in Brazil.
Insanely good. And then like a few weeks ago, I just flipped out from drinking way too much, and I was just like, okay, I'm done for now.
That's why I have my decaf coffee, my collab coffee.
That's sick.
But yeah, I mean, it was just like I definitely need an alternative, and I've been reading so much about mushrooms and mushroom coffee. I even ordered this mushroom blend thing. I'm not going to say the name. But
Mudwater.
I'm gonna hook you guys up so much.
I'm really, really curious to try it.
Me too, man.
Yeah. If you all want to come to the cold plunge, that would be cool. You could have some and see the space. And I'm sure Shane would love to be on the show. The founder.
That'd be sick.
He'd be so stoked.
Okay.
Yeah. He'd love it. He's awesome.
Yeah.
He's one of those people that just sees the world so differently. I'm like, every time I talk to him, I'm like, how do you? Like, his brain is just so different than other people. It's really cool. Very cool.
What was like the last real job he kind of had before all this?
Oh.
Like where he kind of clocked in.
Real job before I worked like social strategy when I'm after film.
That's what you got. Yeah.
I went into that in the cannabis space in LA, and I worked for this brand called Loud Pack that they own like Kingpin and Dime Bag and Smokies and all these other brands.
I don't know any of those words. That's him.
Yeah. They're all these big brands.
Yeah, okay.
So I like got this weird entrance. It was very funny. Not a lot of people have experience in cannabis social media marketing, and I was one of maybe 20,
And you
it's
crushed
a weird
it.
Market, right?
Sorry?
It's a weird market,
Yeah,
right?
there's just a lot of legalities and like gray area because it's not legal. It's not federally legal. So I got my start in social in that world, and then I was like got into really cool brands and got all over the place like through that, because I learned so much from like I had to run social for 5 different brands all at once.
Oh, you must kill social.
So I was like,
shit.
I have to do I just figured it all out. So social media is the reason I say TikTok is the best. I will go into that really quick because I don't want you to think that I'm like a TikToker. I think it's the greatest app for a lot of reasons. Instagram is very curated. It's very like made for your audience to like curate towards this algorithmic like goal of like getting this many likes, blah, blah, blah. TikTok is like the pure opposite. It's just about people showing their world. And so any world you're interested in exists. So I'm like right now, like your algorithm, the more things you like in that algorithm of like whatever you're into, the more you will see. So you'll turn into this blank talk. So it could be like microphone talk or like liquid death talk, whatever the fuck it is. And so mine right now is like unlikely animal friendship talk. Like I'm so into that. I have so many. And like, it's not like someone who's making content, like following the light to get this perfect shot of the donkey running through it's like the light. It's like someone's life. They're just showing their life, like not curated. It's just there. So like,
I love that.
I'll be on there, and I have seen, like, I have not got to travel. I have so much anxiety about all the communities that I don't know about. And I have not got to travel to like the middle of Nepal or like the like random places in like India. And you see like the craziest traditional dancing, like the people who are actually just like the real people who are doing it, and like the food that's happening in these random places in the world, like it's all there. Like it's not hidden. It's not like you have to be following them. You don't have to find people. The algorithm brings it to you if you start to like follow things.
I gotta get on there, man.
So any alternative thing you're interested in, like it can literally say anything. It's like a search bar, so you can be like, whatever. I don't know, like cute dogs. I don't know, man.
Farting dogs.
Yeah, farting dogs. There'll be so much stuff. So I like love it. It's an inspiring place to be in if you don't let it suck you in. You have to like have limits on yourself. But it's really cool, man. It's really cool.
Damn, I never knew we break it down like that before.
Yeah. It's the opposite of Instagram.
I know. Algorithms are so annoying, man. All this
stupid.
Shit.
They're stupid.
Mm-hmm.
I feel so bad for kids.
And I don't see half my friends shit anymore, so I have to start unfollowing and muting people just so if I can see my friends. Like I don't see half my
Do you want to see how to do it?
No, we do know.
You know how to.
No, show me. Yeah, show me out the bottom. Show me now.
You just go to your main page, and when you click up here, you click your name. Sorry, JK. You click your Instagram here, and it will say following. And it will show you the old algorithm of all of your friends. So it's going to show you as it's posted 2 minutes ago rather than this, which is 2 hours ago. It's an algorithm.
I can just stay on that?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
You don't have to ever follow the algorithm again. They made it so you can go back to the old way.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I didn't know that. Did you know that?
I did. I heard about it. I didn't know how to do it.
There you go.
Oh, my God. I just want to see my friends. I've been muting people and shit and fucking, it's just so annoying.
I know. It's really frustrating.
The collab post's pretty sick, though.
Yeah, that
was
nice.
A big one. Yeah, one of my last questions is: you have any regrets in your life?
That's a great question.
You seem like a person that doesn't, though.
No.
I love that.
I don't think so. I wish I was raised surfing. Like that would have been what's up.
I think Max might too, but he started pretty young living here. Yeah, I took advantage of living in California.
But you're doing it now.
Yeah, that's
true.
I
just wish I was. I'm finally getting the place where I can I can surf I can go travel, surf bigger spots and stuff.
Nice.
But like I would never claim myself as like good.
Right.
Sorry.
Wow.
You guys are so
was that? You heard that?
Yeah.
I'll cut that out.
Okay.
And I'm cutting out Max too because he was just so boring. Go ahead. Cut that out, Joe. Okay.
I guess I could I'm surfing bigger normal. I could surf to a degree, but I wouldn't say I'm like good or anything. But I sucked for so many years.
Just like skating though.
Yeah, just like skating. Fun. But the difference is like the learning process of surfing is way longer than skating, and I just wish I started a little earlier.
Okay.
That's like the only thing I could think of because everything else like led me to here, and I'm grateful for it.
Yeah.
There's definitely things I'm envious of. Like I'm so envious of my friends who grew up in Brazil and all these places. I'm like, oh my God. Or even your I know I'm sure you guys have had harder childhoods, but it's just like your stories are so rad. Like just knowing you guys were just like so counterculture, and now I don't know, it's so cool.
We're very lucky to grow up the time we grew up in.
Yeah.
I live in New York at the same time with all the hip hop and the punk rock and the skate, everything, man. Like the time for us is
true.
It definitely made us who we are.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We're definitely lucky.
No doubt about that.
The time and living before the internet and looking at Thrasher magazine and looking at skate tricks and
difference.
Mailing in for T-shirts,
and
looking at records and thank you lists and all that stuff, like discovering things, and not just not pressing a button and everything's there.
Yeah, you become really focused on those details of things, especially like searching for albums, going to the store, thumbing through albums to find music. That was the only way you were going to do it, or talking to somebody and like, we got to go to a show to meet people like us, and and that music bring that connector. Skating the same, got to go to the skate park to meet people who are into these things that we're into, because I don't know how else we're gonna find them.
Go actually leaving your house and going outside to skate and find people.
You got to go out to do that.
Which I love. That's what you're doing. You live outside. You're not living on this, which is like there's two different realities here. That's your phone, and that's, you know what I'm saying? Like you're outside.
Yeah,
with people.
that's a big thing. I think like kids these ages, I'm like, they look at influencers like they're God, you know?
For sure.
And it's like, but you have no way to connect with those people. You have no way to like actually be a part of it.
It's not real life,
so I
man.
like that, like I always encourage brands and people and anyone who have social media to like find ways to physically connect with your audience, like find opportunities to like bring community together.
Yeah.
Like it can be like a bowling night or whatever, it doesn't matter. Just like find opportunities. It's like, because that's all we are, as much as we are a community, you know? It's like, because we're never going to go further. You can't really go further than that, like as a species, I think, if we don't work together.
Right.
So like, yeah. But wait, one last thing that I want to plug that I think is cool, that in reference to this conversation, getting people on boards, we actually spent the past like 6 months creating surf skate tutorials, like proper, like 10-minute episodes, how to actually skate. Because I think we're always like, oh, we want to get people on boards, but then they're like, but how do I learn?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, you should take lessons. And they're like, well, there's no one to really take lessons from. It's like really difficult.
Yeah.
So we saw that as a hole that we need to fix. So we created like really beautiful, super informative, like easy to understand beginner surf skate tutorials. And anyone will learn how to skate. Guaranteed you'll know how to skate by the end of it. So yeah, we're releasing that in like a few days. So if anybody wants to learn to skate and be cool like you two, and like even in your 50s, like we have people who are in their 50s who come to skate with us all the time. Like it's a thing. Skateboarding is for any age, especially women. We really like to know where our bodies are. Like from a ballet background, I really teach skate and like where your body placement needs to be, because people are like, I'm gonna step on a board and I'm gonna die. It was how I felt. But if you know, like, if you step on this part of your board, you're gonna fall. If you don't step on this part of your board, you will not fall. Like just teaching people those things that no one talks about is like,
it's pretty true.
Gonna be cool. I think it's gonna really help people like really have more like, it's like, oh, I want to learn to skate, I don't know how. It's like, here's the tutorial. So we really hope that that's going to help people, and
that's incredible.
That's something I'm excited.
We didn't have that growing up either.
No,
we said the magazines would have a step-by-step, maybe 100 photos of how to do an ollie. It's like click up and then all like the freaking photos,
and you would follow it and you would like
try.
Oh yeah, you
the Thrasher mag we got
wow,
that's so, I forgot about that too. Yeah, that's right.
It's pretty crazy, right?
It's insane.
What about the pandemic? What were we doing during that? We just doing online stuff about? Were you in LA? Were you in LA for that?
I was in Brazil. I got stuck in Brazil. Long story short.
Wow, I almost got stuck there.
Yeah, it was a pretty.
And it was pretty gnarly there too.
It was gnarly.
How long were you there for?
I was there for almost 3 months, or a little over 3 months.
You got stuck there.
Yeah, but like I got really lucky in the situation. I know a lot of people had hard moments there. Like I got like a pretty crazy place. I had like my friend literally gave me a key to their hotel, their posada, that was closed in this town, that there was only one entrance and one exit, and only people who lived there were allowed in. And it's like a
movie
surf skate mecca that has a wave in front and then a brand new skate park in the middle. And I was rich because it was 5-1, the reais to dollar.
Yeah.
So I was just, it was probably like it was a good moment for me.
Who was in the hotel? Was it packed? The hotel was packed?
No, it was just us, me and my partner. We had a whole hotel on the beach.
What was it scary, an empty hotel?
Was it south of Brazil?
South of Brazil.
Mariscal. You were in an empty hotel with like nobody in the hotel, just you.
Yeah. But it wasn't like a hotel. A posada is like kind of like a motel vibe.
Okay.
It's more like chill vibe.
But still, nobody was there really.
Yeah.
And were the restaurants closed?
No, everything was open. Cakes for $3, like amazing chocolate cake that I'd have every day. Yeah, it was honestly, I got lucky. But during COVID, we actually were working on something that like we hope to happen one day, which I think is a bigger picture goal if we could ever get there funding wise. We had spent 2 years building a business plan for an indoor women-owned skate park. So we like had funding to open up a place in Venice, like on the boardwalk. It was an indoor surf skate park that half coffee, half surf skate. We like worked with the VP of Deus to build it out.
That's incredible,
so it was like that style.
Right.
And it would be like a community space, but also a place for people to learn surf skate, and then also like a space for people to like skate and learn and play.
Right. That's incredible.
And that still is our goal. Like 6 years from now, we want to get there. And if we open that, we have communities all over the world with all these skaters, and we can also like grow this and have them in different parts of the world, these like swirl houses.
You'll definitely do
And
swirl house. I like that.
so we would be like the women-owned skate parks around the world is our big goal. That's a bigger picture Grlswirl thing.
That's definitely going to happen.
Thanks.
We're putting out the atmosphere for sure. That's incredible, man.
Just need to figure it out. Anybody who's a mogul, just call me.
You never know who's listening, man.
Yeah.
Who knows that stuff? I don't know.
I mean, the power of skate, it's powerful. And like you said,
Universal language skateboarding.
It's empowering. There's a guy during the whole COVID thing, we had these talks that we were doing online, and we put together like a bunch of skaters, and we had this one guy, which I cannot remember his name.
I remember this.
Yeah, and he was talking about Skate Afghanistan.
Oh yeah,
and
it's
then
amazing.
he was
Skate-a-stan?
was crazy.
And he was
So
talking
good.
about it. He was just like, having women specifically is who we were teaching to skate, and they were so empowered and thankful to have that opportunity to step away from their lives and all the shit that was going on around them, and to be able to skate. And it was just like tearful. Like it was super therapeutic,
for sure.
And it was empowering. He kept saying like, all these women never had the chance they can't do anything there.
Wait, was it the people from Skate-a-stan?
I mean,
they won the Academy Award for Best Documentary about Skate-a-stan.
Yeah.
That's them?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It could have been the guy that went there, and it's like all sorts of war stuff going on. It had to be.
That had to be.
And it was like, and it was just like mind blowing. He was just like, it was the most like moving thing. Like they were just so thankful and happy to be skating, like to break away from because they're limited what women can do there.
That's definitely this guy.
Yeah.
I remember seeing some footage
and
of
it was
that
just
too.
like, whoa.
Skating some crazy bowl too. They cleaned out. Maybe I don't know if that was part of it too.
I mean, they like cleaned up this whole area.
That's it.
And it's just for skating. It was just like incredible work that he had done, and he was just like the power of skating, and I just never imagined that. It's just like how powerful it could be, in such a horrible like wartime there. It's just insane. But it's
insane. Have you guys ever heard of the show Post Radical on Vice with Rick McCrank? If you guys like that kind of stuff, like what you're talking about, you love it. It's like he goes through all like the weird subcultures of skateboarders around the world. Like the first episode is about Palestine and Israel. And he goes into like the skaters in Palestine, and then he goes to the skaters of Israel, and he shows like, it's an amazing show. I can't believe it's not more popular. It's like brilliant. And then every episode is like a different subculture. He goes into like slalom, and he goes into like fingerboarders, like the fingerboarder scene. It's really groovy. It's a cool show. Yeah, there's some great.
Max was all obsessed with that. They had rampant shit skate parks.
Oh wow,
fingerboards.
That's a whole thing. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm not into that world, but I think it's cool. All subcultures are cool for me.
For sure.
Yeah.
So people can find Grlswirl online. Right? You run that account?
Yes.
Grlswirl.
Yeah. GRL, no I in girl.
So much material.
GRL swirl. Yeah, we have Instagram, we have TikTok, we have YouTube, we have Pinterest, we have website, we have
Twitter.
No Twitter.
Okay.
No, thank you.
It doesn't even exist anymore.
What the fuck? Why is this shit happening? It's from the barracks too.
Oh.
Sorry. It's my wife. You know what? I can take that off. But yeah, well, thank you for being here. Any questions more?
No.
This has been amazing to meet you, hearing about you,
too.
your fucking story. It's really inspiring, and I hope people listening get inspired, and women across the world listening and get inspired to skate. You know what I mean? Cool. Sometimes there's like a thing at the barracks where everybody takes a break during the day and they all skate. And my wife skates around during the day, takes breaks, just get it out, just cruise around. You know what I mean? Shut it off. You're gonna meet my wife. I'm sure you met her before, but she's a badass.
Yeah.
She runs that park.
Hell yeah.
I mean, shout out to the barracks. My wife is definitely
but she's running the show.
The badass glue that keeps it together for sure.
That's so cool.
Only woman there.
Mm-hmm.
They need that. They get stuff.
Yeah, my wife is so DIY that she bought her own candy machine when she first worked there, and so she fills up the machine. She takes all the money. She recycles it.
Wow.
She has her own candy, like a big vending machine. That's her vending machine. She brought it in there.
What?
She's gangster.
That's amazing.
Yeah, she has like healthy things in there and all.
How long have you guys been together?
I've been married since 1996. I met my wife in 1992 in Washington D.C.
I met her before you were married.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
I was a roadie for a band. She saw me from far away and she fell in love with me. Sorry, I'm just kidding. And then I play hard to get because that girl that broke my heart that I stopped skating for, I didn't trust any girls. I got my heart broken. I got cheated on. So then I kind of played hard to get. There's a whole other. We had this podcast before.
That's a whole.
And then my wife never gave up on me, and I fucking became like best friends with her first. And then I realized she was the one. I got a second chance, and now I've been married. I have one kid. Yeah.
Wow.
So married since '96. I'm very blessed. She holds me down, man.
Wow.
Very lucky.
That's so inspiring.
I got to saw true love, real shit.
Wow.
Real shit.
How did you know it was true love?
Because she was there the whole time. We were best friends first. That's really important to be friends first. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then when I got my second chance, she like made me work for that shit. Yeah. Straight up. I lived in Jersey City. She worked in Manhattan. I'd set my alarm every night to like 4:30 in the morning. I jump on the path train. I pick her up from work. I walk her home, and then I go back home. I walk her home every night from those bars and go back to my house and go to sleep. One day she let me sleep in the house on the couch. Had earned my way. My wife's badass. But I would just walk her home from work in Manhattan every night. I walk her home, go back home, sleep. I just like
you get off the L.
Had to earn that shit.
Wow.
Path train.
The
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Oh, the 14th.
But my wife's like, fuck, man. I'm a big kid. I'm in a band. I play music for 30 years in the same band. I travel the world.
Yeah.
She sells merch. My son's in my band now. And, musicians are big kids. Our responsibilities are just playing music and shit. Obviously, when we get back home, this is reality,
Yeah.
Mortgage
I always
and
wonder
family.
how musicians do that with relationships. Because it's like,
You tell me.
I don't get it.
I know, I'm lucky because
I couldn't date a musician. I wouldn't understand.
See? That's the
Yeah.
problem.
You have to have like a really
But
special
but when she
bond.
met me, I wasn't a musician. I was a roadie. I was a shoe salesman. Worked across the street from Derek in Soho.
Yep.
And I was just
What kind of shoes?
I worked at Nana Shoes, Doc
That's
Martens,
Doc
all that
Martens.
shit back
Oh,
in the
okay,
day.
Creepers, all that
Like
stuff.
super trendy shoes.
I was working at Fat Farm, so we're working
Across
at
the
clothing
street,
stores
yeah.
across
Sick.
from each other.
But like,
So cool.
I wasn't in the band when she met me. She came to my first show in Queens with her boyfriend she had at that time.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was like, I want to be with a band, dude. Then I started the band, and then fucking I did like one tour. I was like, I can't tour without her. And she started selling merch, and she toured me for like 15 years as a merch person. And then she got pregnant on tour, this fool. And then with my son. So he's been around music his whole life.
How old were you guys when you had him?
Let's see. He's 20. I'm 53. I was 33.
That's my age.
Yeah. So we traveled the world first, the whole world together. We seen everything together, and then he came, and then we started taking him on tour as a baby. Like people think your life.
So he's traveled a lot. Yeah, tell me about that.
So
Did your life change
people
a lot?
think, oh my god, you can have a kid, your life's over. The kid adapts to your life. So we started taking him on tour, traveling with him. He's seen every fucking culture his whole life. He's got more education from touring with me than his fucking school, to be honest. Wow. He's seen everything.
Wow.
Japan 4 times before he was 12.
What?
Yeah.
Does he remember all of it?
Yeah, the later ones, yeah. But I like to bring it back to her
Wow.
again, to be honest. But Brazil, South America, everywhere, man.
What was his favorite spot?
Probably South America because it was pretty intense and scary the first time we went there.
Yeah.
It had security with us. And it was crazy.
Wow.
But like the key to all that is just, communication, honesty, trust. You don't have any of that shit. It's a wrap. Do you know what I mean? You have to have that. And then with my son, it's just open conversations about everything. Like, he doesn't lie to us, doesn't hide shit from us. He texts me from school, hey, all my friends are skipping last period. Can I skip last period? I'm like, oh, yeah. Nobody's fucking texting their parents.
Yeah, valid.
So,
what a
yeah,
good kid.
when you trust your kid, they don't have to do anything shady because if you know where they are, like, there's this open kind of like trust there. It's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And so when you guys decide to have a kid, were you scared your life was going to change? Were you like worried?
Yeah, I was a little nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were both 33?
She's 1 year older than me. I didn't have a driver's license because I lived in the East Coast my whole life. So she's like, if you don't get your driver's license, you're not going to be there when your son's born. So I took all these tests. I failed it. I finally got my license. I drove it to the hospital, like white knuckling. We made it there, had the baby there. But like, yeah, it's like grown up shit.
Wow.
When you have a kid, you see the world different.
Yeah.
It's fucking scary.
Worth it?
Yeah, I mean, but now.
I'm just asking freely.
But
obviously, yes.
but right now it's like a more scarier world than ever it's been. But
yeah.
But you raise a good human to go out there and try to make a difference in the world, like your parents did for you and what you're doing.
Yeah.
Do you want to have kids?
Mm-hmm. Soon.
All
Scary.
right. Soon? Okay.
So scary.
With you do it now, how long you been with the guy for?
6 years.
Oh, you're good. You're chilling.
I don't know. Who knows?
Wow.
But-
We don't know.
Yeah.
But you ready to have a kid? If it happens now, you're not.
Yeah, I want to have a kid.
You're not trying. But
It hit where I was like, oh, should I don't know, maybe back and forth. I'm like, I have so much momentum in my life right now, and I'm so scared for like all that momentum to change.
you'll be more inspired to kill it.
Yeah, I'm like, I
'Cause
need
you're
to
killing it for
stop
somebody.
worrying about this. I need to
Yeah.
just, I'm like such a maternal person. I'm like so
I can see
excited
you'd be an
Right.
amazing
to have
mom.
a kid. Like, I'm so excited.
You seem
so,
very loving and
So
emotional and
yeah,
caring.
I got too much to give.
You'd be
Right.
great.
I throw up how much I love I have.
You'd be a
My
great
dogs are like, relax.
You'd be a great mom.
Thank you.
But then you go even harder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For him.
Whatever you're doing, you go even stronger.
Yeah. I met a woman the other day. We teach retreats in Costa Rica, and she's just built a skate park in Nosara. Super sick park. And I was talking to her. She looked like she's 35. She's like 54. Damn. She has 3 kids. She had her first kid at 24, and they're best friends, and they surf and skate together. And she's like had different husbands and done all this shit, but surfs every single day in her 50s. I'm like, you know what? I don't need to stop worrying about, okay, are we going to be together forever? Should I have this kid? No. It's like, just fucking things work out. You figure it out. Yeah. You know?
That's the thing. It's no perfect time. Right. You can't plan financially or anything for it. If you're in love, you want to make a baby, fucking do it out of pure love. Nothing else. Not set this time and this, I want to have this much money in the bank. That shit doesn't matter, dude. You when it happens, you make it work, man. You know what I mean?
Did you feel like you got like, did things just like work out or was it just like hustle? Because some people say, oh, babies when they come, it's like everything just starts working out.
No, it's definitely, I mean, you definitely don't sleep. You don't sleep anymore.
Oh, that's
you don't sleep anymore for a while.
But it's like, you got to add that you're a great partner and, you're there with the moon, so that makes a big difference.
Totally.
Big
partners
difference.
that's supportive.
Right partner.
Yeah, that's really important. But yeah, the sleep thing, you take your shifts. Yeah. It's crazy when you become a dad, like the first couple weeks and months, you're like,
nobody ever told me about the sleep deprivation thing.
That too, but also it's like, it's just straight to my wife. My son's just breastfeeding, and I'm like, what is my job? Okay, I'll clean the diapers, but the mom gets that instant connection that the fathers do not get. And at first I'm like, is this how it's going to be? Like, does this guy even know I'm here? Like, what is my fucking job besides changing diapers? Like, when do I get to be in the mix? You know what I'm saying? But it's, for a while, it's kind of hard, man. Then it's just like, fuck.
And it's great.
Kids fucking walking.
When did he start surfing and skating?
Only surfing for a couple years, and he's a fucking incredible surfer. Teaching surfing, doing competitions.
Wow.
Fucking like the videos I see of him is just like, but he's an ill skateboarder.
Yeah.
He's an ill drummer.
But when did he start all that stuff? What age?
Skating really young, drums super young, like 4 years old.
Wow.
Skating really young.
Was it crazy to see? Was it like so emotional?
What? Just doing all that shit?
Yeah.
I mean, now it's even more because he plays in my band, so that's even more surreal.
Wow.
But like just seeing him become like a way better skater. I was never a street skater. Like he's doing the rails, he's doing all that shit at the barracks. I never did that. I can't even do a kickflip. I do a finger flip. It's different. But yeah, just seeing my son like into the same shit I was into, and then even better at that, and then thriving and modeling and plays golf, does all this shit.
Wow, what a cool kid.
He does a lot of shit. You just saw him like totally exhausted, but yeah, he surfed 7 hours yesterday. But he's a total Cali kid. He's submerged in California, and it makes me love California more. And during the pandemic, I tried surfing, and I stood up a couple of times, and I understand that like spiritual kind of connection that people talk about in the ocean. It's way different than skating.
Like today.
Like you're on top of this, it's I can't explain it. It's just pulling you, and it's, I don't know. It's beautiful.
It's very addicting.
I get it. I totally get it.
Very addicting.
Yeah.
Because skating, it's the same spot every day, and you're like, oh, I can figure this out. Surfing, it's like you can do the exact same thing every single day, but the water will be different every time.
Yes.
It's like, what spot are we going to, and what are the waves like, and what board do I bring, and who's going, and it's like there's so much things to figure out, and it gives you so much direction. I love it. I surf every single. I don't skate every day. I surf every day.
He does too. He's every day.
Yeah.
Sometimes he'll be in Malibu, and then he'll go to Venice, or he'll be in Orange County, or go in San Clemente. He goes everywhere.
I can't imagine being young and surfing.
He has so much miles on his car. It's
so
fucking
jealous.
scary.
Yeah,
wow.
That's insane.
He'll like skate, surf, work, whatever he does. Like
so cool.
Yeah, it's cool. He started young.
My kid is like that. Yeah.
Cali kid, man.
Cali kid.
It's in their blood.
Yeah, you weren't. Even none of us are Cali kids.
No,
we're just out here.
Nope.
I grew up loving looking at Venice and looking at all the skateboarders and the culture of California, the hip hop, the punk rock, everything, the style, the culture. But also loved. I was submerged in New York, which I fucking loved, and that changed me. But also through Thrasher magazine and the videos, were like, dude, California. And then you get here, and it's like it took a while to like get settled. It took like 2 years because I had to start fucking driving and everything's spread out. But I have this house. I love the space, man.
Yeah.
The palm trees, fucking everything. You know.
So nice.
It's a crazy world, man.
It's crazy.
Well, I think we're gonna hang out with you more after this pod for sure, man.
Yeah.
In real life, yeah. Skate together, hang together.
Hell yeah.
Really great meeting.
I'm gonna convince you guys to come to adult night at the Cove.
fuck's that?
It's adult skate night at the Cove, and it's the best. Cool. I brought Salema there. He hadn't skated in a long, long time, and he had like the time of his life. It's like the coolest community of like older skaters.
I'm down.
It's like it's pretty much like 30 plus.
Okay.
And everyone like feel like people bring speakers and be blasting punk music and like the bowls, like the big ones, and then there's like older guys like doing beginner stuff. Like everyone's there together, and it's like such good vibes. It's every Wednesday and Sunday. No kids are allowed, so it's like really fun. It's such a cool crew.
Yeah, that fool won't be around.
Yeah, no kids.
Max, you're waiting. That's awesome. It's crazy. Like you're like a total Cali person now. You're a New Yorker. You're East Coaster at heart.
I know.
But you're like reborn into this shit.
I know. Everyone's always like, "You're from here, right?" I'm like, "Not me."
I did not know you were from New York. That was such a great gem for this pod.
My whole family talks like this.
Of course.
Wow.
They really do.
Did you have an accent?
Not my dad and my mom. No. I just love making fun of it. I think it's so funny. Yeah. It's like my favorite accent to do.
New York's like one of the best accents, man.
It's amazing.
My mom's Massachusetts is a little more annoying, but New York's got the best fucking accent.
Good.
You go back there a lot and visit for holidays and shit?
No.
My parents moved to Florida.
Oh, shit. Damn.
All right.
I know.
What part of Florida?
Naples.
Ooh.
It's awful.
That's far. It's like a mish.
It's okay. I thought I would hate it, and I went, and there was like lots of skate parks there.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's like beautiful and clean, and there's like it's really nice.
Okay.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh, I thought this was going to be the worst thing ever, and I actually like kind of dig it.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah, it's not New York, but you can't win them all.
I know.
There's enough other places to go.
New York's a different world, but I like visiting.
Yeah.
Well, fuck. Thank you for being here. This has been amazing.
Thanks
Thank
for
you,
having
Derek,
me.
for introducing me to her and having her come to my kitchen.
Thanks, Derek.
I love meeting new people and fucking connecting with people.
It'd be
and
a great connect.
Oh, it's incredible, man.
Yeah.
And I love what you do. What you're doing is it's amazing.
Thanks.
And this is like over my 250th episode. I want to tell you that your wave. This is honest truth. I've never said this on the podcast. Your fucking voice and your wavelengths on this microphone are the best guests that's ever been on the microphone.
Wait, what does that mean?
That means you talk into the microphone. You sound great. Your wavelengths are fucking perfect. And Joe, my editor, listening, is gonna love this episode because you killed it. I'm just telling you. Nobody has like perfect. Like your shit's just say
really?
Yeah, your shit's just like
right
I'm
now.
I'm just saying like you have solid wavelengths. That means you speak really well. Into the mic.
Thanks.
And I can understand. You have a strong. Your voice is great, and you're just like I don't know. You just recorded really well. It's nice.
That makes me so happy. I do an absurd amount of interviews.
You should do a podcast, maybe.
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever personally do a podcast, but I like being on people's podcasts.
Okay. You were great.
I don't have the time.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you enjoyed yourself. You were great.
I had so much fun talking about myself. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I don't. It's weird
that's
talking.
A wrap.
No. It's really weird talking about yourself that
You're very
long.
inspiring.
Thanks. I was on another podcast and I felt like I just went on and talked about myself for an hour and then got off and it felt really strange. So this has felt a lot better, like learning about you guys.
Yeah, well, it's a conversation.
It doesn't feel like I'm just like talking.
No, but I need to hear your story and the listeners need to hear your story and
be
inspired by it. It's a
we're all
conversation.
having, you know?
Yeah.
Just chopping it up.
Yeah.
Lucy Jean.
Yeah.
Lucy Jean.
Well, thank you. I can't wait to skate.
Cold fun.
Meet your kid one day.
Thanks.
All right. Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Yes.
All right. Thank you everybody for listening. Grlswirl. Grlswirl.
Squirrel.
I didn't say Grlswirl.
People say Grlswirl sometimes.
I said Grlswirl. No, but if I said that, Joe, edit it out. Okay. Grlswirl. Check it out, everybody. Support that. It's incredible. My wife might get involved too, maybe. It'd be kind of hard.
That would be.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Bye. I always ask my guests if they have any regrets. I personally don't have any regrets. Even when it comes to my tattoos, I have the silliest tattoos. Even my ET on my leg, it's still a childhood memory for me, and I love it. I've had tattoos on top of tattoos strictly because I wanted more tattoos. I started getting tattoos when I was 18. I'm 52 now, and I can't stop. I've had laser treatment before on something on my arm. It's 4 tattoos on top of each other. And that experience at that place was pretty fast. It was pretty cold. It was in and out, swiped the credit card. Don't really tell me much, didn't give me much details or anything was going to happen. So I never went back. So as of most recently, I'm so lucky enough to have had 2 sessions at Removery Tattoo Removal. My tattoo on my arm that looks like a big black blob is now super light. I've had 2 sessions. I have a long road ahead of me. None of this stuff happens overnight. You cannot take a tattoo up in one sitting. You have to be patient. And it's painful. They ice you up. It's super fast. To me, it felt like a bunch of rubber bands. But what's more painful than that is looking at something on your body that you think you're stuck with for the rest of your life. That sucks. But now for me, I'm really happy I started this journey. I'm slowly going to get this tattoo removed. I never thought in a million years I have any kind of real estate on my arm. I don't even know what I want, but it's exciting. I'm so honored to announce that One Life One Chance podcast is now with Removery. I have a code. Use TobyH20 and get $100 off your first session. Call 866-934-4570 or go to Removery.com. One of the most experienced tattoo removal companies in the world. Over 600,000 removal treatments done. 100 locations. US, Canada, and Australia. State-of-the-art Pico-Way laser technology. Cryo-technology to reduce any discomfort. This is so exciting for me because all I do in these podcasts is talk about tattoos. From day one, if you've been listening to this podcast, we talk about tattoos, talk about getting removed, talk about getting covered up. So this is such a perfect fit for me. Once again, go to Removery.com or call 866-934-4570. Use my code TobyH20 and get $100 off. These guys are located everywhere. Try it out.